Do you know what you're doing then, Rachel? Are you going? Are you looking for something else, or have you got
I'm looking.
Yeah.
The head emailed me. They want to have a conversation with me on Monday.
I was going to say, how much extra responsibilities are you going to get with all these leaders leaving?
Well, the early years leaders left, so I'm the only early years teacher left
Oh my god.
in the
I'm
entire
doing
unit.
stream things now, just in case anyone
Okay.
needed to know,
Oh,
for the
okay.
sake of.
Are you already rolling?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh dear.
How long have you been rolling?
2 minutes.
That's not too bad. That's not too bad. I don't think any of us said your name.
No.
So it's okay.
Don't worry.
Right.
Literally, freaking. I'm not gonna start and let you lot start going like, oh yeah, this bitch Stacy Montague. Oh my god.
We don't do that.
D&D fans, be paranoid.
Yeah.
We don't do
Because it
that.
could be your school.
Yeah.
You never know. We're playing Atlesia, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Just double checking.
I hope
We've got
so.
so many
Oh, wait,
games right
yeah,
now.
I was gonna say, what other game was there gonna be?
It's gonna probably talk about my one shot.
Yeah, Connor.
Yeah, Connor's one shot, and then we've got that one where we're getting his ass whooped by that level whatever
The level
god thing.
21 shot.
Yeah, we've got so many
well,
things.
Yeah.
As for my one shot, I'm down to just finish it whenever you guys are next available.
Yeah.
I don't remember all these corpses being here.
Yeah, I
We
figured.
I
didn't
did.
kill them.
No, I figured I'd give you the visual of literally 50 units on the field.
Were they there before? They weren't there
No.
before. Okay.
No.
I was like, I'm really blind. Not observant at all. I was just looking at the
Yeah.
nice rug that I want to
Yeah,
put.
we
My
went
necessary
picking out our room.
You guys just casually walking across the map to every point, and you're just like, walking over
Just
bodies.
crunch,
Yeah.
crunch.
Get splattered boots, and
Squish,
you're like,
squish,
oh
squish."
no, my boots are wet. And it's
Oh
just
no.
blood.
Must be water. Oh.
Wow, this place has got a problem with the rain. We might
Someone's
want
been
to get.
crushing grapes somewhere.
Oh, I love wine tasting.
I mean, don't say that.
I mean, I would
Don't
probably
yeah,
like
don't
it.
say that.
I would like it.
I'm
We've
joking.
got quite a lot of people that would like to have the wine.
I don't even like wine.
Me neither.
I don't like wine. I like rosé, and that's with lemonade. That's it.
Oh no, that sounds horrible.
Rosé with lemonade.
Oh, that sounds sickeningly sweet.
Yeah, I like it. I was drinking a little strawberry daiquiri can right now from like B&M for 89p, and it's really nice. It's like just rum and strawberry juice.
I just can't with wine. Just. It's just
Oh, I was nearly a 19.
one day soon.
Nearly 19. Hmm.
It was. I have the 3D dice roll on my screen, and I saw it go on to 19, and then it's like
That's-
tilted. Oh, fucking good. I love having
Sorry,
the 3D dice.
it got me because you're like, oh, it's got a 19, and I just see a straight 9 on the screen. I'm like, hmm.
It was
Unless you're talking about
nearly.
adding a 1 in front of it, then maybe, but that's
It
not
was
the case.
nearly.
It's not the
everyone
case.
roll?
No.
Yeah.
God damn it!
You sound very distraught about Rika.
I mean, you saved me
Yeah, you're
and
normally
Chloe
good.
last session, so if you'd rather I took it, I will.
I can recap if you want.
Well, I can't remember anything. So. Oh wait, I
took
think
the
I remember
notes
things,
last
yeah.
session.
I didn't take notes, but I did. I keep telling myself I'm gonna take notes.
I don't remember the
We-
major details, but
We were in that room, and the guy was like, "One of you's gotta sit on the table," and then we were like, "But like, does it need to be anyone in particular, or can anyone sit there?" And he was like, "No, you've got to sit there." So Lycora sat on there, and then it turns out that she was mega sexy in a past life, and
And
super
mega
powerful with
fancy.
fancy wings. And then she killed her master, and then she had a child that she adopted that she ended up killing. And then yeah, she kind of went crazy and tried to kill
you went
herself.
through this massive kumbaya stage as well.
Yeah. Yeah, but then she went crazy because she was so lonely. She tried to kill herself, but there was a spark of innocence left, so she didn't actually die. She was just kind of like remade. And
I
then
want to remember this.
and then she was like super traumatized, and she's got a magic sword stuck inside her, and has cool wings now. Um, and then she was unconscious, and then Brewen was like, you know what, I kind of want to see what's going on. So he sat on the table, and they were like, ooh, you're super angel-y, you're a super pure blood angel. That's why we want you.
Just letting you all know. Sorry to interrupt. By the end of this game, you fuckers are all gonna have wings, and it's not even gonna be by my own design. It's just gonna happen.
I was thinking, I was so excited about my wings, and now everyone's got them.
Like,
I picture that's like your overarching plot for like the whole campaign. You're like, by the end, they will all have
Wait,
wings.
you mean, Chloe? I was the original. Don't you?
y'all are
Yeah.
just copies.
No, I just mean I was so excited to get them out of nowhere. Like you had them anyway as part of your character, and I was like, oh my god, I've got wings now. And then everyone gets them, and I'm just like, I feel less special now. And mine are probably the fucking ugliest as well, because they're fucking harpy wings.
Mine are
Hey.
demon wings.
Yeah, those are cool.
Harpy?
Mine are harpies.
Harpy wings are just feather wings. There's nothing to do with ugliness.
Well, I made them prettier because I said I want them to be like purple and shit.
Do you remember they are basically bird women? Like,
Birdie women.
Yeah.
It's a raven though. It's a raven.
And I've liked them
woman.
ever
Yeah.
since Interspecies Reviewers.
Of course. But yeah,
Ugh.
we found out that Brewen is like a super angel, and then
Holy.
Trafalgar was like, "Bruh, you guys have ruined soap for me. Fuck all of you." And then Esatari's just stood at the back like, "What fucking freak show have I walked into?"
She's the only normal one.
And then like, fucking, what's his face is Anriel's just like melding into the wall because it's so awkward. And then blonde lady was like, hey, you know, you have the power to save us from the apex. And like Breon was like, okay baby, that's cool, but you know, I don't care that much. And then we
you're
left.
too cool.
Best recap ever.
I also just realised I heard interspecies reviews.
I
And
just
my
caught up
memory-
with that.
My memory just pinged and like, oh yeah, oh god, oh lordy.
Oh lordy hellfire.
I think Rachel deserves
Well, I
to
think
have
there is a
two
one episode with a
inspirations.
helper.
I already have one inspiration.
I think you should deserve two
Not
extra for that recap because it
happening.
was great.
I will give who's not got inspiration.
Me
Me.
and yeah.
If I get two inspiration, can I give one to Megan and to?
I mean,
to
you
Chloe?
can if you're giving your actual inspiration.
No,
Because you're
I
not
should
getting
get
two. No.
It's okay, I don't need it. Give it to
It's
Chloe.
not how that works. I'll let you
Fine.
fuckers get away with it enough. No.
Fine, I give it to Chloe.
You do give us a lot, thank you. Ow!
Is someone opening a bag of crisps?
That
We
hurt my ears.
we have less time than we usually do, so I will push forward.
Okay.
Two things.
thank you for
First
my
off,
inspiration.
I nearly interrupted when you were doing the recap because I don't know what key I hit on my keyboard, but it hasn't been lit up for like a year. And I hit a key on the keyboard and I don't know what one it was, and now it's lit up, and I'm just here kind of freaking out because I have a glowing keyboard again.
Is it not a little light bulb one? Because I did
Nope.
that on mine and I couldn't figure out how to turn it back on, and it was a little light bulb key.
Nope.
Oh.
So anyway, yeah, that was weird.
Interesting.
But yeah, you choose whoever you want to have the inspiration. It's either or. As
Up to you, girl.
you all return to normality, you are on the other side over here, walking out of the slightly more buried cathedral. What do you all want to do? You see a couple of faces in the distance. As technically they're not actually on this part of the map, but for the sake of a visual, feel free to put yourselves wherever you want. Unreal, as you all are walking out, hasn't said a thing, and he's currently just kind of looking across you all as if, why are they not freaking out more about that? That's just weird. What do?
Do we see all these bodies around?
Oh yeah.
Are they bandits' bodies?
Yes.
Are they like obliterated, or are they?
A lot of the ones by your feet at the moment in this general area all have the same kind of multiple long slash marks across the body. They go in about 2 inches deep, and they seem like long striking things as well. Like each and every one of them was hit by some massive beast or
Oh God.
like triple-headed blade, which is less likely. The ones off in the distance seem, from what little you can see at the moment anyway, you'd have to check properly, but they look like they were just taken out by your allies. So there's that for you. Anything else?
Not from me, I don't think. I'm just kind of looking around at the two that have had their realizations.
Mm.
To
Particularly looking to
out
see
there.
if Brewin is perhaps upset with Lycoris.
Yeah, we wanted to insight check him last time, didn't we?
Go for it.
Why would he be upset at me?
Well,
I'm an angel sent
I
from
thought
heaven.
you
I
did
thought
you
upset
did
generally.
murder the person who like saved him.
No.
I wanted to see if he was upset about what
No?
he'd
Did
seen
I get
as
that wrong
well.
last time?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. Azatari, do better than me, please. Oh, I wrote it as a harpy. That wasn't me. It was a harpy.
I did not do better than you.
Oh no. You get a +4 as well.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And suddenly a harpy arrives, looks at Brewin and goes, "He's lying! Ah!"
Just start singing like a melancholy song at him. Just, oh, I know you're hurting inside.
Given how low both of those rolls are, I'll be honest, it's up to you, Connor.
Do you hate me now? Or do you hate me more than you already did?
Or are you upset generally? my insight
More
was
than
that you're
you
upset
normally are.
generally.
Connor? I think he will be happy then.
Ego.
So we'll continue until then, and we'll get your answer then. Anything else?
I'm just gonna go look at some of the bodies. There we go. That's the extent of Lycoris's mental ability right now.
Getting focused in your work. So,
Oh no, she's not actually looking at the dead bodies properly. She's just staring down at dead bodies like, I've done this lots of times, apparently.
yeah, this is normal.
She's going through a bit of an existential crisis here. Like, for realsies this time.
It's like, oh shit, I've killed people.
Oh shit, I was literally a ruthless fucking ruler for a while, and I've got a magic sword inside me that wants me to kill people. This is great. I'm doing great.
Just a regular Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you're each wandering through, looking at some of the bodies.
Kumbaya.
Kumbaya. We'll get an answer from you in a second, by the way, my duda. As you're all looking around at some of the bodies, because I know one of you is a pickpocket, are you going across taking gold or anything from them? Trafalgar?
I was thinking about looting some people
Yeah,
too.
I'm looting. That's what I wanted to do at the end of last session.
Oh, good. Okay, because there's a lot of people.
All of them. Yes.
Across them all, I will.
IKEA.
There is assorted small, like. Sorry, my brain is really going to be on the fritz today. Small, like, perishables like food and water skins. Some people will have like small lockets that'll be like personal worth, and maybe like small hand notes and parchments and basic small things. For the most part, otherwise, they just have their weapons. They have the armor on their back. Well, not armor exactly, but clothes technically, with light padding, as well as like maybe a small pouch of silvers, a gold here and there, and that kind of thing. Do you guys care about specificity, or would you like it all reduced to a gold value? Because these guys won't have anything on them that's worth anything to you now, such as
I had one specific question.
Yep.
/ request.
Okay.
It's a very important one.
Okay.
Do they have any alcohol on them?
Ding dong.
Hello. Thank you very much, Papa.
How was your head?
Complaints, apparently.
Lots of complaints.
That is
Is that
very well
Jake?
timed. Do they have any alcohol on them? Bing bong.
Hi, Jake.
Hi.
Oh, you had them then.
Woo!
Hello, Jake.
Warehouse buddy.
Who's got the D?
Warehouse buddy.
Oh.
Warehouse buddy.
Like you said,
Yeah.
I didn't hear it. It's just like Lee's got the D. I was just like, I mean,
He hears what he wants.
You
Technically.
like it? Yeah, it is. I think. Oh no, I thought I had some alcohol on me, but I don't think I do anymore. I was gonna say, if you tell me what's wrong with you, I'll give you some alcohol.
There is
Since
a
I failed my insight check.
there is a total out of all of the people accessible to you. At least 13 water skins, if you know what I mean. Lots
Yay.
of booze. Some of them will be half full, some of them will be full, some will be mostly empty, etc. So you can have yourself quite a nice afternoon at the very least. So I'll say if you are taking all of them, reduce it down to the equivalent of 4 full water skins worth of an alcohol of your choice. As for the total gold value, like I already said, I was obviously occupied. Do you guys care about any specific small bits like generic jewellery, or would you prefer a gold value for future effort?
Unless there's jewellery that's worth like 20 gold pieces, just gold is fine.
There is only one item that I will save time out of the lot, which seems to be a sorry, trying to rekindle my own brain here. A small blue gem in a locket that is on one of the guards nearer to the back, more toward the people on the hill. That seems cracked in the middle, but even then, as a separate piece, even if you repaired it, it looks like it's at least 40, maybe 50 gold's value worth. But everything else as a total, you and Vanessa are both scouring it, so you can share it any way you want. I'm not gonna fight it, but make sure you two key into each other who's having what amount. There's a total of 34 gold pieces, which is an equivalent of silvers and coppers, but I rarely use them anyway.
Cool. I will take 20 gold pieces, and then she can take the rest.
Yep.
She's
Okay.
distracted. You're distracted trying to wins good, right?
Yeah, that's fine. You can take more if you want.
No, I'll take 20, and then I'll take the blue gem locket as well.
Okay.
Yes.
What was left? Sorry. After you take the
14.
14.
14. So 33.
You're like scavenger
Thank you.
birds.
Yeah. I'm not keeping it. I'm sending it, so it's okay.
It's a good job we don't use encumbrance.
Yeah, I'll only be mean about it if it's massive. Even then, to be fair, I think
For my strength score, I appreciate the weight of gold I have on me. is kind of like on the limit almost.
Yeah, me too.
So it's a bit of a humble brag.
To be fair,
Yeah.
as well, it doesn't matter. You have a bag of holding, a rucksack of holding.
As if he's gonna give me all his gold.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, he trusts
And I-
you so much that him and his personality disorders are just like, no, she's fine.
I keep
I'm gonna
forgetting.
pick up some extra daggers as well. I need some daggers. I'm using a lot.
Dagger, dagger, dagger.
Dagger, dagger, dagger. So what are we all doing? Moving forward?
I would like to have a look in the houses.
Mm-hmm.
Would anyone else like to look with me?
Yeah, there's something like mine.
I will look in some of the other houses,
Beaky.
cover all my ground.
Ooh, what a lovely rug. I would quite like that for my house.
I would like to look for perhaps whoever killed everybody.
I assume it was the bird. It's not a bird.
Is it a plane?
As you guys are having a search, Asatari, make an investigation or medicine check.
God damn.
Or perception if you want to try find them off in the distance, or scent based, or etc.
Giving me too many options here.
Oh yeah.
So investigation, medicine, or perception.
Hmm. Each of them will be different. You doing different things to try find it. So like searching the bodies, checking the wounds, etc.
Oof.
Oof.
Not looking like a good day.
No, I mean, and then to be
Oh, no.
fair, you guys have been part of a lot of fights since you've known them, and there's been a lot of weird and disturbing things going on, but you've never seen a literal mass of bodies laid out like this before you, and it's probably a little to take in, and you're looking around a little bit, looking at the wounds, and they are all very similar wounds. You deduce at the very least it has to have been some kind of large beast, like a bear maybe. And they're very consistent, giant claw marks across the body. There's a couple of people who here and there have like bite marks in the neck, but it doesn't look like they were digested per se, as in around those same bodies, maybe a couple of feet trailing, you'll see like chunks of flesh that were torn off. So whatever did this for the purpose, not for the food. So it came by and just ripped them apart. But looking, and inevitably you will, over at the bodies closer toward the hill, those bodies weren't engaged with at all. It seems specifically the soldiers that were close to the doorway blocking you lot in were the targets. So, bit weird.
Yeah.
Anything else? For you two lurky loos, searching for the houses, investigation or perception checks, please. This will be based on time, so the DC is lower.
Investigation and perception, did you say?
Mm-hmm.
This one's +4. Oh, fuck!
Hmm.
Pretty rug, woo!
Well, at the very least, you do get a lovely, surprisingly lacking blood splattered rug.
Ah.
I'll tell you what else you get after a couple of minutes.
Okay.
As you are very enthralled with that rug, you're kind of just like holding it up a little bit. It's still draped down. It's a good like 10-foot long, 15-foot long rug. You're just like, well, yeah. I mean, this will probably be
It's
good.
pretty nice.
Maybe if I cut it in half a little bit, I could put 2 bits in the corner, one by the door. Yeah.
Is it a magical rug?
Yes, it comes alive and smothers you.
No!
Finally.
No, it was
Well,
a
shit.
mimic rug.
Uh,
Oh, that'd serve me right, wouldn't it?
I have done
Crazy
that before.
moving. We've encountered mimics before, yeah.
Mhm.
That was on us.
Erin, as you're searching, again, I will be giving you more details over the course of time, but for everyone else to get some stuff in. You searching around, you find there's in the room that you're currently in anyway, the table side, as you're kind of like looking along, you look underneath it, kind of push the table out the way, look in the jars. just looking around the room bit by bit. You kick the wow, my brain suddenly switched the fuck off. You push shit out of the way. You have a look around, you see underneath the rug is the word I was looking for. Fucking hell, I am actually just like set to 0. You look underneath the rug and you see what looks to be, though the floor itself is like, it has been made like by hand, the wooden floor, for the case of defending this place. They have somewhere to stay and yada yada, but it does look like there's some planks of wood that are out of place. They're about an inch or two spaced from the rest, and you kind of like just start peeling it off, and you look underneath, and there's this small gap that has about enough space to fit a small box, and you kind of like shove your hand in and kind of feel around, and it's just this small patch of dirt that's been dug out, and you kind of like grab around and you feel this small wooden something. As you pick it up and open your hand out and look at it, you can see what looks to be like some kind of handle, and you're not too sure what kind of weapon it would be for, automatically anyway, but you see what looks to be the image of a figure, you see the torso and the head, and what looks to be 6 arms in different positions behind their back and on the handle, and kind of turn it around, look it over up and down. It's clearly got a slot where a weapon was placed before, but it seems to have been taken apart, and this part itself, though it doesn't look like it has much value, you can see what looks to be this small red gem that's embedded on the inside where the blade itself would meet. And I mean, it is very tiny, like a pea size, but could be worth something.
Ooh, I will definitely pocket that for later. Try and get that gem out.
So, as you guys are searching, what are the rest of you doing?
After, well, getting some emergency rations of alcohol, just going to be wondering the same as what Nessun was, as Tari was, and what on earth took out all these people?
You can do the same checks that she had if you want. Investigation, perception, or medicine.
You know what? I'll go with perception.
Yeah. So you kind of look around. The scent of blood is still wafting, but the wind is high and strong. You can see very small spatters of like a red, bloody print that move off toward the water here, but then stop as, of course, it's the water.
Well, yeah, it's more or less what I was more or less attempting to more or less do, was to see if there was anything else to figure out, to sate the curiosity.
Okay. So as you're all wandering through, Kier has made his way down, is walking into the camp, and get to this point. And as he moves forward, the others are also coming toward the camp as well, but they're taking a little bit more time, just moving slowly. A couple of people have like scrapes and bruises, and a couple of bits of blood that's been spilt. You can see people with like sort of like bandages and cover-ups for like a slash mark, but for the most part they seem like they fought a very overwhelmingly won battle. And as Kier gets over, looks over toward each of you, looks toward Unreal, and it seems to just not really say anything, but then just looks across the area and starts to kind of push some of the bodies out of the way and shove them a little bit closer toward the water's edge. As, depending on what you lot do while they're there, they will for the most part just start clearing up the bodies. And now we have a bunch of people on the map. So if you do want to interact while you guys are having a roam, feel free. For the sake of we'll say a 10-minute or so like jump, Anessa and Trafalgar, there isn't too much else that's of interest. You'll find a couple of letters here and there that were basically detailing what you now already know. Them being told to hide in the forest and wait for the wagon to come through, either successfully holding your friend or, well, holding you, and to come back into camp and just fortify and resist anyone that tries to escape or attack. But, of course, in the end they didn't really realise that they were going to get fucked up on both sides. There is a chest in the main hut here that, again, can be found by either of you. Feel free to roll a dexterity check for that, even though I'm pretty sure I know which one of you would find it first.
Yeah.
Um,
Go on, Trafalgar.
on the inside of it, there is an assortment of
Hey.
gems of multiple colours and sizes and cuts. There is also a large bag full of gold coins, silvers, coppers. With inevitable time you will deduce how much they will cost, but for now I will leave you with a chest of gems worth 20 gold pieces. The total gold sum, however, is in around the regions of 500 to 600 gold pieces. So because I'm nice, 600.
Thank you.
Work it out between you who's taking what and where you're placing it. Although I would probably suggest putting it in the bag of holding for now, for future endeavours. Unless someone's greedy. Looking at Trafalgar.
Walking around with a full chest, like just like tucked under his coat, like nothing to see here.
I mean, he's done it
He's mine.
before.
Yeah.
It is his MO.
I will take the gems, and the bag of gold I will divide amongst everybody, however much was in that, unless I've heard that wrong.
It was 600 of gold. And the gems, there's just a shitload of gems in the chest.
Oh, okay. Okay. 600 gold. I will take 300 gold's worth of gems then.
Mhm.
And then I will leave 300 gold's worth of gems in the bag of holding with whoever is holding that.
I
And I can find where the bag of holding is.
Should be items.
Oh, rucksack of holding, that's why. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else we want to do while the place is being tidied up to an extent?
how is Lycora's looking? She's the one who normally talks to
Hmm.
other people.
The
But
face.
does she look up to it?
I can probably say with certainty no. She looks like she's in such a state of confusion from it all that she probably has yet to even realise they're there.
I will go talk to our friends. Then.
Okay.
You know will go well.
I mean, you're not that bad. You have a harem. I mean, come on. So the important ones, anyway, as well as a soldier that's on the side. Two of which you know. The young boy himself, Costas Howard. He has a small little scar along his cheek now, where he probably got attacked. Though it looks like it's already fresh. It's already cured a little bit. You can see it's just whitened a bit. He has a little short sword in his hand, and he's wearing leathers. And from the look of his stance, you don't really know combat all that well, or at least not fully. But he seems to have a decent stance anyway. Gear's a little bit bruised, but nothing bad. He seems to just have a bow in his person as well as a sword, so he probably stayed back and fired. There is a dark elf at the back here, though his whole complexion looks rough. Though being pale is normal for his kind, there are these little warts underneath the neck and this deadness behind the eyes that kind of throws you a little bit. And he doesn't seem to fully react to your appearance or speech. He just kind of is there. And for the last one, we have a young lady known as Georgia Tears, the woman with the owly. Yeah. So as you walk over, Kia just looks at you and kind of makes a head motion toward the others. And by the way, I'm just not doing voice at the moment. My head is slowly recovering.
That's okay.
Just looks at you and says, so what's happened down there?
Well, what have we done with the ASMR that we
We
rescued?
brought them out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
You did.
Dump them over here somewhere and just left them.
They just left unconscious at the...
You just
Well,
run
I
out
imagine
through the body.
We'll have dragged them over.
Yeah, we've just dumped them at the...
It's like, poof. There you go.
They've
We saved
actually-
you.
These somewhere.
They've got mixed up with the other dead bodies. Like.
Yeah. Oh man.
Hold on, let me grab that for you.
I'm walking over to you now.
There you
Oh my god, it popped up and it freaked me the fuck out.
go.
Oh my god, that scared me. I was just moving my token and I was like, ah! Oh no! I was zoomed right in as well, so it just popped right up in my face.
I'll just say, well, I'm not sure it went exactly to plan, but we're all still here. We've managed to rescue a few captives they had.
And I managed to blow it up.
Yeah,
It was great.
yeah. So hopefully it won't get used anymore. This place, and well,
Yeah, that's why I did it.
It looks like either those who are in there have left of their own accord, and you cleared up some of the ones out here.
That's your...
So
How-
good.
What happened on your end?
Well, I figured in advance, and sorry for not telling you, but it felt more appropriate. I asked if the captain could rally up some people and send them our way after us to help just in case we needed more men for this. I didn't think they would get here as quick as they did, but then again I also didn't think that we would get here as quick. But I was just sat on the hill scouting for a bit, and then out of nowhere people started to rush from the forest. I had to, well, almost camouflage. When they went running past, I tried to listen out. I tried to see if there was a way I could alert you, but there was no way I could do it without them either coming all back toward the gate and making sure I never got in or saw the light of day again, or possibly triggering them to come in and hurt you. luckily, at the same moment as I was trying to find something to do to get to them, the others arrived a couple of moments later. And so, we waited, talked about a plan, and as usual, as plans go, it was immediately interrupted by a third party. We didn't actually see what caused the ruckus, but when we came to and looked down, all we saw was something fleeing toward the water, and then a bunch of them were dead, and others were on high alert and in disarray. So we then just charged them, and they seemed to go down easy. Whatever it was must have been truly something to be afraid of.
Yes, you're right about that, for sure. But hey, at least it left without attacking any of you, so that's good, I suppose. Thank you very much for arranging help. We were concerned about the. We knew that more of their reinforcements had arrived, and we were worried, but it had already been taken care of thanks to you.
Well, judging from how you all look, it seems you probably had the worst of it. We just came in and swept up what was left. We haven't suffered a casualty. But I suppose that a full story is for later. For now,
I will look curiously at the two people I don't know.
Mhm.
And like, are these part of the backup you had arranged?
oh no, these volunteers. I'm not. He turns to the left, looks at the drow. I can't explain that one. Turns to the right, looks at the young lady. And she, with this like sudden pep in her step, just like starts clapping her hands a little and very rapidly and goes, I can tell you about that one actually. There was this mushroom guy, a fungus. I don't know what they call them. He came to the village just as we were leaving, and he had this guy with him, and said, "Take him with you. He will be helpful in getting across into Yornima." We didn't know why he knew what we were doing, and honestly, we were slightly about to attack it. But then Costas told us that he was one of the. And then she turns around. What did you call it? And then just as she's about to speak, she immediately just goes, "Oh, right, that's it. Symbiotes? Something like that. They're sort of like a hive mind host body thing. And so that's basically a dead body with fungus controlling the joints. It's weird, but it's kind of cool. But he's on our side. He's on our side. He doesn't speak
Just
much.
nod.
Just nod and go with it.
Nod, I'm like, oh, I think we've come across this before.
But yeah, he's nice. He doesn't say much though. I think that's probably because he doesn't really have a capacity to speak anymore. I think they clipped his voice box or something, and they're just she's about to continue speaking, and Kia just holds up his hand and just goes, "That about summarizes it." And of course, you know Costas.
I nod and I'll smile at Costas.
He looks over at you. You see him kind of like force a small smile. So, are we to stay the night?
State of the ASMR that we rescued. They weren't injured, they're just unconscious.
Oh no, they're definitely injured.
Oh, they're injured as well. Okay. Well, the people we captured, the captives we rescued, are probably in need of some aid. So, unless we have a way of travelling that can help then. I'm not sure what else. I'll glance at my companions that have come up to join us. What do you think?
It might be wise camping the night, setting up a perimeter, making sure nothing comes out, and, well, yeah, resting up.
Okay. Well,
unless anyone else has got any other ideas.
honestly, I think that the troops are probably a bit tired anyway. And this place, a little bit bloody, seems good enough for now anyway. We'll settle in, we'll take a couple of hours rest and we'll continue in the morning. Not to mention, I'm slightly concerned about Menazai's drift behind you all toward Lycoris, but he doesn't say the name. Anyway, I'm going to go address the others and just check in on them. I'll see you all wandering about. We'll get up about 7 AM sharpish. Good night, everybody.
Sounds good to me.
And then he walks off. Georgia seems to just follow him. Costas kind of just takes a step forward. There's just a look around at the area. This thing seems to follow wherever he goes. Otherwise, soldiers generally just wander about for a bit until they find a fire pit, set it up, and just make themselves temporarily at home. What would you all like to do?
Oh, we pick out and rest up.
Okay.
Oh, can we take the injured ASMR into somewhere safe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I put him in what's probably the biggest part of the complex. So Unreal is going with Kier, and it was going to give him the general who what's. Put him there. Putting our two there. Okay. So as everyone settles in, where are each of you going for the night? As you know, there is beds, but there's not much space per se.
They stole my fucking house.
Hey, I don't know.
Rude.
Not much room, you know.
Where's Satari going? You're with the...
Yeah.
Oh. I follow you. Hello.
I'd like to cure wounds on both of them.
So,
We can play house in here.
with your two ASMR
Cool.
children.
Yeah.
I mean, technically they're adopted, so, yeah.
Oh.
So, you cure the Meech. It doesn't seem to do much for the physical wounds they've suffered already, like the scarring and the like, but you do notice they seem to sleep easier, and what once was a lack in full or heavy breathing turns into a stabilized middle. And over the course of the night, they make a few kind of sounds here and there, little bits of stress, or like they're having a bad dream or something, but they, for the most part, otherwise don't have any alternate effects on them. You and Ness are taking that room. You
I'm just gonna like hover around and see if she's okay with it, because I don't want to like impose or anything. I'm just gonna come in and like have a little chat with her and just check it on the ASMR and then see, like, you know,
Mhm.
If she says anything about me staying or anything.
I'm going to take Vanessa's hand.
No, you slut.
I know. Before marriage and everything.
I know.
And I am going to give her a small kiss on the cheek and tell her, I'm really glad that you got out of there okay. I was worried for a while. And I'll just give her hand a squeeze.
Oh, I was just gonna squeeze your hand.
Oh!
Oh my god, you're so in sync.
I
Mutual
know we
squeeze.
squeezed each other's hand at the same time. And I just give her a smile, and if she'll allow me to, I will put my forehead to hers,
I will allow it.
and
I will allow it.
Just this
I
once.
allow. If I didn't, then that would mean leaving you, and that's not going to happen, is it?
I will blush at that for sure.
Yes! Tabaki. I love tabaki.
Oh, 1 second, be back.
It had to be done.
Okay, I'm just holding her hand. She might feel my hand is sweating a little bit, but you know.
Gross.
Feelings, ew.
She's got wet hands, bruh.
I'm just gonna keep my head resting there for a little bit, and yeah, I'll step away slightly, and I'll just kind of look a little bit like, do I go away? Do I go towards the door? Do I go?
Make,
And I'll just
make a
planning on
charisma saving
staying
throw.
Oh no! Why?
Satari's the big bad.
She is. Oh, charisma saving throw. There it is.
Mm.
Oh!
So there's this moment where you're just stressed. You're wondering like, oh, should I do something? Should I not do that? What do I do? And then you feel this moment where you kind of take a breath and it all kind of falls into a neutrality, and you just kind of look forward. Your head isn't in so much of a fog anymore. What would you do if you had a clear conscience, a clear head?
Oh my god, I don't know. I would. The ace are fine, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, then I would take a hand and just lead her towards the sleeping chamber thing.
Mm.
Not for anything naughty. Just
Well, you might
to
want to give
go
that
for a
context.
rest. That's what I would do though. That's what I'm imagining in my head.
Okay.
Do I have to do it? Because
Nope.
I did a.
Nope, you don't.
Okay. Do I do it? Should I do it? I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
I take her hand and I pull her over to the whatever. Wait, which room is it? Is it this room?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I'm gonna give her hand a little tug and see if she wants to follow me or not. I'm not gonna like just go like, you're coming with me, bitch.
let's
That'd
go
be
home.
bad.
So how?
I hesitate,
Oh well.
looking at the ASMR, but I do follow you.
Hey, it wasn't reluctance because of me. It was reluctance because of them. That's okay.
So you head to the other room. The bed is a large. It's a large bearskin rug that's on the floor. It looks sort of thick per se. It's just because the bear itself was massive. With coveralls over the top of that and a couple of very well fluffed pillows. What do?
I'm just going to say to her, if it's all right with you, we can just cuddle, like last time. I think it's been a hard day. So I think some company would be appreciated.
I I definitely agree on that one. And I'll smile at her.
We get to cuddle.
Hmm.
Can I be the little spoon?
Yeah,
Thanks.
you are much smaller than me.
Oh yeah, I am.
Yep.
Okay. Yay!
So, you two spend the night gently caressing, and in the other room, you will be woken once or twice by the sound of like movement or one of them making a weird sound in the night. And though you do look, you kind of just listen out just in case. But any
We are playing house.
any noises kind of shift back into a quiet after about a moment or so. The night for you two goes on without a hitch, and you enjoy once again a comfortable cuddle together.
Yay!
And there's no weird dreams or anything. How about that?
Woohoo! Still undecided whether this is platonic cuddling or not, but we'll come to that.
So, meanwhile, during the night, Trafalgar, I assume you've basically taken over that place.
Fair and be our beat.
So he did, and so did Connor. So we'll get to you then. As
I am
you,
keeping watch on the rock.
yes,
I think they should both get nightmares because they pissed off and left us, and that's rude.
They were just giving us some privacy, Kay.
That's true. That's true.
Like stuff got intimate. They're like, we gotta go.
we gotta go
we
now.
got
Sorry.
stuff.
Hey, they're not gonna know what happened. They're just gonna know that we in bed.
So
As it
across
should be.
across the night there are shifting watch patterns as a couple of guards do come back and forth. Kier and Unreal both come at one point, but that won't be for a bit. The two guards at the front just now anyway, as everyone settled down about an hour or so ago, and you're there with the rock. Two guards are currently just kind of like looking over at you every now and again. They look at each other to do that kind of "is she okay?" kind of stare. What's going through Lycoris's mind?
Replaying memories and staring into the void.
So as they cycle back and forth a little bit here and there, you have both Kier and Unreal come along about 3-4 hours or so in, seemingly for their watch, but they are here a little bit earlier than that. And they come over to the side of the rock. Unreal just kind of gives you a little tap on the shoulder. See if you're responsive.
Hmm.
Well, that's
Kind of grunt.
That's about a little bit normal, I guess. Turns to Kier and just kind of looks back at you again. So remember when I said he was kind of good at people and stuff. I figured with everything that's just gone on, you might want to actually talk to him. But feel free to just not. I know with all of whatever the fuck that was, you're probably a bit out of it. But for what it's worth, whoever that was, I don't think that's you anymore. And regardless of crazy demon swords or not, you're see this one. I mean, I'm not good with this shit. Kind of just pushes Kier a little bit, and Kier just kind of stares at him, pushes his glasses up a little bit, and then he just moves out the way a little. Kier steps forward. If it's okay to ask, he's told me a little bit about what happened down there, but I don't it's rather outside of my purview. Is it okay if I could get your version of events as well?
Uh, well, we sat on an altar, Brewin and I, and we learnt about all of the memories we had locked away. And they weren't so great.
Hmm. You kind of,
I don't know about Brewin, but there was a lot of murder for me.
well, from what I know of you anyway, does that not come as a natural path?
Yeah, I deal in murder, but that was slaughter. It makes this battlefield look like a child's playground.
Hmm. From what I've learned of you and from what he's told me, you seem to have a strong concern for life and death, general mortality. Do you think that's maybe because of these events of your past, or is it caused by a fear of losing people important, and in addition to your past, things that have just become a maelstrom of fear turned into forms of stress instead? And the
I'm
best,
just gonna stare at him blankly because this is way over her head right now.
I see. I apologize. I should have waited.
Uh, I just found out that I murdered my master and also my adopted child, and Vantress, the evil witchy bitch who's been causing all of these problems, happens to be one of my pseudo children.
He kind of raises an eyebrow at that. Hmm. I've had very fine dealings with her, and even then that was more from Vortican. But she never really struck me as that foolhardy. Hello.
Bloom.
Sorry, Jake came in the room. But she seemed to go leaps and bounds to deal with you.
Yes, she doesn't seem to like me very much. Oh, and the best bit, that pseudo child that I killed looks exactly like Trafalgar.
Unreal kind of just stares for a moment and just,
You know, that child that I lovingly adopted and raised from poverty, only to have to kill because they tried to kill me.
Oh, damn.
he nods. Kia just kind of listens for the most part until you stop speaking.
And now I have these. I'm gonna point at my pointy claws and pop out my wings.
The guards behind the stakes just immediately go, "Ah!" Unreal, of course, unfazed. He's seen them. Kia looks up. There is a bit of a shock in his face, but then he returns to a neutral stare.
Whilst he's neutrally staring, I'll just like reach into my chest and pull out the sword and be like, cool trick, huh?
Okay,
And then
that
try and throw it and it reappears. And just keep trying to throw it away and it just keeps reappearing.
each time you throw it and make it reappear, you watch as it flies off. Okay, that's a slightly new one, but I can deal with the trauma. But that stuff, you might want to give me a few more years for that.
Also, Kier, this sword is called Sin Eater.
Sunita.
Apparently, it eats the sins of people, and that's why I killed my master. And we're about to return to my only friend in the world, who is currently the owner of what is, well, what can only be considered a brothel, a den of sin.
But
Oh. That's
if you yourself were the purveyor of the blade, then did you... I'm assuming you had no control over whom you killed committing sin, but did you not have any control? Was there not some kind of... see, this is the awkward bit, magical things. Was there no, like, rule you had set yourself to? You are a different person now. I don't know the full story of you and your weapon, but you are a different person.
Yeah, that's the problem. I don't know what the story of the weapon is. All I know is there is a sin-eating blade that is bound to my soul, and I currently travel with a thief, and, well, Ines is not technically a thief, but she's not exactly law-abiding.
Oh yeah.
And the family I have left is a woman who literally sells her body for money.
Hmm. Give
So I
me,
think if it's going to choose anyone here, it's likely to choose one of those three.
Oh no.
give me, give me until we get back to Alden to reflect on this, so I might hopefully help you better. As for the blade, I think if it truly is a blade fit to destroy sin, then you either have to abandon this set of people, which is the last thing you should ever do, or try to control it. But again, this is probably a conversation better fit for someone who could tell you more of the blade. But for now, at the very least, I personally believe you staying clear from them is a choice that was better made than otherwise. I'm going to return to my room and write up some notes, but just try to think on it for a bit. He kind of motions as if he's gonna like pat you on the shoulder or something, and he just resists it. Gives you a small nod. And then him and Kia both, Unreal, walk off slowly. Unreal turns back to look. Kia kind of grabs him by the shoulder gently, and they move on.
I'm gonna put the wings away and just like look at the sword for a bit, I guess.
Trafalgar.
Yes.
Anything you want to do in the night?
In the night. Not really. I just want to sleep.
Okay.
And think that like Chorus is a bit of a bitch for like telling me not to be involved in bad people and then going and climbing on an altar with a bad person. No. I just want to sleep and count all my gems.
Little goblin.
And maybe try and like pry that gem out of the that weapon handle as well.
Okay. Then Connor, anything in the middle of the night?
Well, I think Brewin, for the time being, is just going to just reflect on the past events, really. Just trying to, well, figure out what to make of all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from that, I'm not going to intentionally go out of my way to try and get anything in particular done.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I will reflect, and if any other event or anything unfolds, I will respond to it. But other than that, just in the selected quarters for the night, just self-reflect on what's occurred today.
Then
Oh, okay.
only once in the middle of the night do you have any degree of interruption, and it's when one of the guards kind of walks past the bricked up area that you're currently in. They kind of walk by, not realizing anyone's in there, and then kind of notice you. They leave a drink by your feet and give you a kind of nod.
I'll happily accept that offer.
They walk away with a slight smile and just kind of leave you to. Beyond that, you enjoy a quiet rest. There is a bit of singing you hear in the distance, some chanting, but it lasts all of like maybe half an hour. You have a full rest with 0 other interruptions. If there's anything else, anyone, let me know. Otherwise, you all do get yourself a nice rest. Feel free to restore all of your shit.
Hey,
As the morning comes to, you are all very promptly awoken at 6:30 specifically. You are given enough time to get your shit together. As 7 comes to, the sun is in the sky. It is clouded a little by dark clouds in the sky. But otherwise, you are quite aware it's morning, earlier than normal. You each get your bits together and start to make a move. As you, alongside the soldiers and a few extra friends, start moving back towards Alden together, moving up the hill through the forest. As you're walking along, you see every now and again Kia's like looking up at the sky, and he's looking around with a sort of slight face of concern. And then a couple of minutes go by as you're moving along, about an hour into the journey. He makes sure that specifically only Esatari and Anessa can hear for the moment, unless you, Bruin, or Trafalgar are nearby enough to hear it as well. Then he'll try to get your attention too. He'll have Lycoris join too, but only in the event that everyone else is there. Otherwise, he doesn't try to trouble you. He just says that he doesn't like how the clouds look in the sky. There's just a weirdness to them that he can't exactly explain. And as the next hour or so of the journey goes, you all see as the clouds have very quickly scaled across the sky, and there's this kind of sulphurous smell that's become suddenly very potent. And a couple of these soldiers start to lag behind, the ones with these fresh wounds. You see as they start to complain of feeling slightly dizzy. So they kind of stop for a moment just to check them over, make sure everything's fine. After about 10 minutes, you all see as a fog starts billowing in, and you try to look for somewhere stable, secure that you could set up, but the forest being already fairly sparse, you see that all it has to cover you is a large hollowed out rock that is covered in moss and small patches of mushrooms here and there. They kind of just keep on moving, kind of forcing march. Again, Kia comes over toward you each and just notes that he might have to stop because some of the men are showing signs of sickness. You can't tell exactly what yet, but they are becoming sluggish, dizzy, and some of them are looking slightly paler. At this same time as well, the fog is starting to fill the area. You can all still see each other, but it is starting to obscure vision beyond a 100-foot radius. And the sky above is getting darker. Now you each can smell this sulphurous smell. And out the outskirts of about 60 foot, every now and again you'll see a tree that wasn't there a moment ago. More of a
What
branch.
can I see with my ring?
What you specifically can see, as the fog doesn't obscure you, is every now and again outside of the field of vision you see what's pretty much either a stump or a skinny tree branch that's moving across the mud and getting a little bit closer, but they never get close enough with you around. They seem to just follow and surge slowly in the distance. And after about another 20 minutes or so of walking, someone collapses into the mud and they go to pick him up. Kia checks his signs. The man's fine, but he won't be able to walk anymore. He's unconscious and his skin is pure white. They feed him a little, they give him some water. By this point, the fog has settled in fully, and you all, except for Megan, can barely see 20 feet around yourselves. And there is still nothing else but the fog, the muck, broken branches, and sparse amounts of mushrooms here and there. And as you carry the one man that falls, very quickly more and more start to. But at some point, as you're all walking, trying to keep track of each other, the fog gets worse and worse. And a head in the pack disappears one by one. And then as someone tries to keep up and find that person, they get lost too. And as you each try to find each other, it becomes tougher and tougher to keep a pack together. You, as a group, seem to keep stuck with each other, but Kia and Unreal take it upon themselves to stop, try to find the others. As they do that, they lose track of you and you to them, vice versa. With your field of view, Megan, you kind of look around trying to keep track of them, but they run off shouting for some of the people, and you guys try to hear and look for them. You, with the vision that you have, look toward the others and then look toward them, and as you're trying to shout them back, they seem preoccupied, and you each just hear the sounds of fighting all around you, and the sounds of little bits of screeching and screaming and fighting, and it all becomes this lost blur. What do you all do?
I'll go towards the sound of the fighting. I guess.
Okay. Yeah. So as you rush forward a little bit toward where the sound of the fighting is, you hear the sound of footsteps about 10 feet as you're moving forward, and you stop for a second, blade drawn, and a lovely lady appears.
Hello, friends.
Hi, hi.
Hi.
Is it the weird fox lady again?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean
Yeah.
weird
A cool fox lady, I hope you mean.
So
food?
you, weird fox lady apparently, you look around, you see ahead of you The others are stood in amongst a marshy fields. Obviously, a big fog has rolled in, but you can see through it pretty well at this point. Um, Lycoris, lady with the long, now very weird-looking samurai sword, has just run
Is that a new
forward.
thing?
It's a new thing.
Oh.
She just run forward with it drawn and stops the second she sees you. And as you're kind of looking around, you see kind of spatterings of people that are fighting against some of the plants. But very quickly they either fall or they disappear beyond the fog and your range of vision through it.
Do I see Unreal or Kir?
No, but you do see, just as the fog's rolling in a little bit further, someone about 10 feet away behind one of the little branches, someone sinking into the mud like it's quicksand. You just about see them before the head is submerged, but the eyes are already rolled back.
Okay. I will start shouting for Unreal and Kir.
You start shouting, and you kind of just keep shouting, trying to listen for some reaction or an answer, but it doesn't seem to be any response.
Okay, I want to run to where the sand was and start digging in to see if it was one of them.
So you quickly rush over, and by this point the fog has restricted everyone's vision to about 7-8 feet. As you're running forward, you quickly start just jamming your hands in the floor, just pulling and pulling and pulling, and you see the more that you try to pull, the more that it starts to submerge, and you just about see a helmet of one of the soldiers of Alden before it submerges a little further. And as you try to dig further and further, you feel something wrap around your hand, and you turn and look, and you see the branch has wrapped around your hand and is trying to pull you away.
Oh. Move away from the quicksand, I guess, and start shouting for Kir and Unreal again. Because I can still see the others, can't I?
Nope.
Oh, fuck.
Can I see her?
Mm-hmm.
Am I in my fox form or
That's
Lee?
entirely up to you, to be honest.
I'll run over to help you and see whatever you're up to in my foxy form.
So as you start pawing away at some of the sand as well, you don't feel you have it in you to tell her that whoever that person is, if they're important to her or not, they're not coming back. Once the swamp takes a hold of someone, it itself is more or less like a living entity. It will devour them. But once it takes someone, it usually is fed, and it won't take anyone else. But as you've been wandering around, you haven't actually seen anyone else, so you're not too sure who she's shouting for. But you do kind of just like have a look around with your opened field of vision, and you can't see anyone else, or at least not in a good 60 foot.
Oh, shit. Okay, I'm starting to panic now.
This isn't good.
Trafalgar? Freewin? Anessa?
Megan,
Sorry?
Satari, you can still see the pair of them.
Okay, if I can... How far away are they?
They're about 20 feet away.
Okay.
Hey,
Lycoris, you blind fuck.
I'm having a really, really bad few days.
there is a massive fog. Like the place is covered. You guys can barely see your own hands beyond this point.
And I can see Akiko as well, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll shout out back, Lycoris, we're back here. The way you left. Akiko, what's going on? What can we do?
You smell a sulfurous smell in the air, as well, by the way. And as you're looking around, there's this small sign you usually look for when you smell a sulphurous fog smell, and you're kind of looking around at the marsh, and when you look up to the sky, you see the skies have just gone fully black by this point, even through all the fog that's billowing. And then you kind of just sniff a little bit more, and your nose kind of twitches a little bit, and you know that if they're not careful, you can probably survive it, but a poison fog will very quickly come through in the next couple of minutes. They have to get out of here.
I would have heard them shout over, right? I just still can't see them.
You know, you can see them.
I can see. Oh,
Yeah.
I can see. Okay.
You can't see too far, but you can see.
Cool. I'll just transform into my little lady fox form.
Mhm.
And turn to Lycoris. This is gonna go really bad very soon. It happens here. But I know somewhere. Please get your friends.
I don't know where they are, so I'm gonna carry on screaming.
Wait, this way.
I'm like, Unreal,
I drag them over. I drag her over.
Are you susceptible to that?
I guess so.
Okay.
I'm pretty panicked right now.
Okay. So she takes you by the arm and runs you back over towards Esatari and the others. Yeah, what do you say?
Is it just our group?
It seems to be just your group.
We can't leave Anriel and Kia.
Or the rest of them.
This
I have-
not
I
very
have-
good. It will hurt you. I've seen it before.
Esatari, can't you do your weird pointy? Oh, you've got to see them. Anessa, can you just point in loads of different directions and see if you can find them?
I guess so.
Okay. What do you say?
Oh, I don't know. What do you want me to say?
Just find where they are.
Hello?
Are they
Hello?
still alive?
Hello? Are you still alive? Hello? Hello? Please respond to this message. Hello? Hello?
So you kind of point all over, and back in the direction you came, you get a very quick reply of what sounds like a kind of grunt, and just go on. We've got things here. Get the fuck out of here. You get that in response from Anriel.
He said we've got things, and to get the fuck out.
He's got control of a poison cloud. Is he an idiot?
He doesn't know about that, remember?
No, tell them about the poison cloud, please.
There is a poison cloud. You get the fuck out of here.
No, you.
So you get in response.
Hey, wait, I've got resistance to poison, right?
Yep, that doesn't mean
Alright,
that doesn't
some.
that doesn't mean you can't
No.
that doesn't mean you can't be poisoned. It just means it takes
It
longer.
just means you'll take longer to die. You'll
Yep.
watch all of
that
us
means
die.
like half. A resistance is half damage, isn't it?
Yeah, that's damage. Poisoned is a condition. But
Because they're fighting the plants and stuff, but can I try and make the plants not?
Ooh, if you
Can
had
you
to
not?
make the kind of thing, that would be cool.
But it takes a minute, I don't know how long we have.
Talk to plants.
to be fair,
But you're growing them. It says you're growing plants or
Oh.
bees. Oh no, with
So
any
naturally
naturally
growing.
you'd need to be with them or see them at the very
Yeah.
least. Not to mention that there would be plenty.
Okay,
That might be a problem.
I have an
Maybe
idea.
they're a hive mind. I don't know.
True.
I'm pulling my rope out of my bag. I've got 30 foot of rope. I'm gonna tie. No, I've got 30 foot. I've got 50 foot of rope. I'm gonna tie it around my waist and I'm gonna hand it to Brewin because I assume Brewin's the strongest. And I'm gonna start walking back in the direction that Anessa said they were in.
Okay.
You're going, but you'll get
Can
poisoned.
see further. Should go first.
Well, as
Just
long as one of us is attached to the rope.
Okay.
as
I have another 50 foot of rope if you want us to just tie onto each other.
I can see that going really badly.
50 foot is
Yeah,
a very
yeah.
long length.
Well, then one of us can pull it if we get into trouble.
so is she?
If someone's in gaseous form, can they get poisoned?
No, because you're a gas.
What if I make someone gaseous form so they don't? I don't know.
Yeah, but
I
then
mean-
that's not. Lycoris isn't listening. Lycoris has just tied the rope round her waist and she's off.
Okay.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, can I
I'll drag Anessa with me because YOLO.
Yeah, okay.
I'll go with you. 'Cause
I was gonna say if I cast expeditious retreat on people, then you can move quicker and you'll be in the.
would we be safe
Shit,
inside the
last time.
tiny hut?
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, but it can only take 9 people.
Mhm.
Who are we sacrificing, guys?
He's gonna be the sacrifice.
Well, does vibration sensor work normally in this thick fog?
Yeah, vibration senses vibrations. Fog doesn't
It's
do
like the
anything to
forest,
it. It's just that with all the mud, the likelihood of it
Yeah.
working as well is iffy. But it still works. So as you tie around yourself and you start moving into the fog,
Are you dragging me?
Yes.
Okay.
It's you're the only way we can talk to them.
Anessa, you do you message?
Yeah, I've messaged him to say there's a poison fog cloud and stuff.
Okay.
We're coming for you.
So in a response to it, you get what technically doesn't come through in the message, but you hear him stop in between sentences, and he says, "Yep, we've just figured that one out."
Oh, no, go! I'm gonna cast expeditious retreat on Lycoris so she can get to him quicker. and
I'm gonna run as quick as I can in the direction she points.
Wait for me to finish the message.
Oh, sorry.
It's just like, oh, quick. That is very on brand. Just like
That's
you
what I do.
replaying, yeah. And he says, "Yep, we just figured that out. We've found a small cave. Please just go. This shit is following you."
Following us?
Mhm.
Following us. So if we move, then it will go away from them. I'm gonna tell Lycoris that.
I turn and start running in the other direction.
I have already cast expedition retreat on you as well, so you can move really fast.
I'm
Okay.
like fucking roadrunner, bruh.
Is it following all of us?
Is it
you,
just
you,
fun-
you need to ask.
Who am I asking?
Them.
Anya,
Just ask them if it's moving away from them. Can they see it moving and stuff then?
do you ask?
I'll ask him.
Okay.
Yo, we moved away. Is it still moving? Is it moving towards us? Are you okay? What's going on?
I didn't mean it literally. I just meant it's going in your direction.
Ah! Oh, it's going in our direction.
Run back to Fox Lady. She said she knew a place.
Let's go. You're running like ages ahead of us, by the way, because you are super fast. So Brewin is just being pulled along on this fucking rope, like wah!
It's like, whoa!
If you're taking your dash action anyways.
I'm like a puppy on a walk.
You are. I think I'm gonna can I spread my wings at will?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I'm gonna have my wingies out and I'm gonna fly so I can go quicker. Estetari, what you doing? You can't move as quick, can you?
Wanna hold on to my rope?
I stayed with the others. I watched your.
Oh yeah, you did. That's right. Okay, so I'm flying. I'm flying after Brewin being pulled along in this fucking rope.
You guys
Um,
can just
like
about see
Forest.
each other, by the way. You would literally need to fly beside them.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm trying.
So we're just running back to the group and then following Akiko to wherever is safe.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm gonna keep messaging as we're running. Gonna keep messaging over my shoulder. Has it left you yet? Has it left you yet? Has it left you yet?
So after about, as you catch up with the others and you start moving away, Akiko is like charging at full pace, looking back and looking up toward the clouds. Um, as you keep messaging back, after about the equivalent to about like 12 seconds, the message is out of range, but you hear, nope, 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 nope.
No! You lied to us.
And as you're kind of just trying to keep track with everybody else and follow the pack, following Akiko, you all rush very quickly what feels like just a straight northerly direction. If there's ever a stop, she lets you know down the line that you're going X direction. As at the minute, Megan's pretty much the only one that can see properly, and other than Akiko, you kind of coordinate between you, keeping track of who, where. There is a point where the sulfur smell sort of catches up again, but otherwise a general dirt stink is there for a while. Eventually, you run so far that the fog's spread is a little lessened, and you can just about see each other in a like 10-foot distance of yourselves. You continue running until eventually you come across this a sparse forest. It looks like there are some trees that still have a degree of life in them, like one or two leaves, that kind of thing. And as you're looking around, Akiko takes slower steps, looking about at each of the trees. You see that there are small berries here and there that are growing that have rotten cores in some cases. This forest is on its bare minimal last legs, and it's barely surviving with what ability it has to ingest sunlight in this very rough part of the world. You walk through this forest for about 5 or so minutes until eventually you come across this large circular stone area that has a frame on the top of it. You walk over, you pull on the handle that opens up this frame and leads underground. You see the fog is starting to spread very slowly into the forest, as well as a sickly green coloration that you didn't see before inside of the fog moving forward as well. And does anyone have anything they want to say or do before you go under?
I'm just gonna tell them. I don't know if that fog cloud left them or not. I don't know if it did follow us.
Can we ask Akiko what we're running from?
It'd be the fog cloud. It happens quite a bit around here. I thought you were camping anyway. Why
Yeah.
are you camping around here?
Because of the nice carpets. Look, I got this rug.
Oh. I didn't know we had rugs in the forest.
No, it was a little settlement nearby. It had a really nice carpet. It's really cool. Yeah.
We were actually on our way back.
Yeah, we just finished our vacation.
We were returning.
You picked very bad timing, to be honest. It's gonna keep rolling in. I don't know how long it's gonna be around for, but I usually take cover in here.
As you kind of look inside, it is a long staircase leading down about 45 feet. It's got little grooves in the walls where these small candle lights, multitudes of them in each of the spaces, are illuminating the stairway. And it's very dark, but I mean, as you'd expect, really. And it does seem weirdly well kept. There is a slight kind of like fungal smell, but given where you are in the forest, it's kind of expected at this point. And in comparison, considering there's scented candles as well, it's doing its best.
Cute.
Can I insight Akiko? I want to see if she's lying and it's more than just a fog cloud.
Go for it.
She didn't sound too confident. Where's my...
Mine's just, it's a charisma, isn't it?
Mhm.
I did that to GM. Damn it.
That's fine.
Oh no.
To be fair, that makes more sense anyway.
Okay.
So it doesn't seem like it's a lie with intent to harm per se. It seems it's more just kind of who she is. It's not like a lie of omission or anything that's like that. It's just you have a degree of knowledge at this point of what it actually is. It's clearly some kind of weird fog that spreads out and then poison billows with it. Maybe it's something in the fog that at its highest focus point it becomes poisonous. It seems more like she's just saying it as plain as possible, as fits her MO at the moment. But obviously she knew about it.
Okay. I'm watching you, little fox lady.
Okay.
So is anyone heading down, or is there anything you need to do beforehand?
I don't think so, but you're saying that like there should be something, and I don't know.
No, just checking.
Okay. I'm really worried about Unreal and Kia though.
If
I
there's...
think I will go down.
Okay. I was going to say if there's
Why
nothing
would-
else.
Why wouldn't they come with us? I don't understand. I'm mad at them for not following us.
Could I add something?
Mhm.
So, could Akiko, she might be like looking at you, like, cause she knew you were looking for your friends. And she'll probably say, it wasn't just the fog cloud. Your friend here watched your. I don't know if you're their companion or your other friend, but they were kind of sinking into the swamp, and I don't know if you know, but this forest, it gets its nutrients from other kinds of things other than just the sun.
Wait, who fell in? Who went into a sinkhole?
Wasn't it one of like
It,
It
it was
was-
just
it was
one
one
of the
of-
soldiers.
Yeah.
I didn't see them, did I?
No.
I don't like your tone of just a soldier.
I know, right?
I'm
Did
glaring
when I messaged, did I get a response from Kia and Anriel, or just one of them?
Well,
It was just Unreal, wasn't it?
it was just Unreal, but there would have been both.
Okay. So I know it's not one of them.
No.
I'm just looking around and counting everyone, just like, they're here, they're here, they're here, they're here, they're here. Okay.
It's
But
literally
we're
just
all
the
here.
core party and Akiko.
And they're there. And so who was it? Blah.
It was the soldier. It was one of the soldiers.
Oh.
Mhm.
So this forest is going to eat us.
I mean, it just attempted to, but we're here now. This should be an okay place. And you have the thing I gave you that kind of deters them away, so we should be okay. I hope.
What makes this place safe normally?
I'm usually around here. They don't tend to go into the caves. Nothing usually makes it this far. Apart from me, of course, I roam around here.
She's so suspicious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else?
I
Guess,
don't
I guess,
think so.
guess we're going down into this
Yeah.
strange candlelit cave.
I'm out of range of message now, aren't I? So I can't message them again.
Yeah. They're far beyond your radius at this point.
Yeah. I thought so. Ugh, okay. Let's go.
Okay. So, as you each make your way down, Akiko slowly pulls the door closed from beneath, and as you pull it down, you twist the handle, and a small locking latch locks it in place. Immediately, you guys notice that it doesn't seem. One second. Um, yeah, so as it locks, just a turn, you each start to make your way down, and as you walk down the steps, the scent from the candles barely obscures the smell of fungus. But it is a kind of it's a pseudo vanilla kind of smell. Um, and making your way down, you can take slow steps. Eventually, as you make your way down, there is a large. Sorry, one sec. I'm very occupied. God damn it. As you reach the bottom of the stairs, there's a secondary door. It's just a basic wooden door that seems to have been well kept. There is a circular golden border on the door's face, which doesn't have anything in between it. It just seems to be this golden thing. Akiko grabs the handle, turns the door, pushes it open. As you walk in, the first area is just kind of like a place filled with a small bit of extra treasures and the like Akiko would have found in her journeys. There's a couple of small cupboards and shelves and the like that have been fitted along the wall. This small cave area is about like a good 15 by 15. The roof itself has this kind of arc as it slowly turns downward. It's not just four walls and a roof, it has a curve. And there isn't any real, like, alteration. It is still a cave. It's just it has things in it. And as you, Akiko, kind of like have a walk around at first, there is that same, like, vague stink, that weird, like, deathly smell again. And you just kind of like have to peg your nose for a moment. And as you're kind of looking around, you maybe grab a small bit of food and just take a little bite. But yeah, as you guys look around, there are small little bits of trinkets and the like. There are odd, like, bits of weapon heads or armor pieces that have maybe been broken off of a chainmail link. It's a lot of like treasure trovey small bits. At the back of the cave, there is a opened pathway that leads outward. Doesn't have any light sources to it at the moment, though. What do you want to do?
I'm going to find the area furthest away from everyone and wait until this all blows over.
Go down to the Winchester.
Okay. So as you guys kind of settle in for a little bit, maybe look around a little. After a little bit, Ikiko, is there anything you'd want to do in the meantime?
I mean, I would be excited to have people around. So I'd be there like, oh, look at all these cool things I found.
No.
And I'd be very excitable. Like, look at this one and this one. And then I'd want to show them around at some point.
I'm distracted by all the things who's showing.
I'm interested in the things being shown, but I am distracted by the other events.
Are they shiny?
There's a few shiny bits. There's even this.
Yeah, I'm distracted.
There's even a little silver chalice that's like dented a little bit, but it still looks cool. She shines it every so often, so you can still see the sparkle.
Oh my god, I'm just staring at this chalice. So pretty.
And so when you finish showing them around, like the main room, and you show the odd little, like these odd little knickknacks that you find really cute, that one of which is like a little pin that doesn't have the actual like pin part anymore, but it's this little like ladybug, like an actual like ladybug. It's been taxidermied to fuck.
No.
And you kind of just like show it. It's like it's an actual like ladybug. You can just like put it there, and you kind of hold it up towards like your chest, and then you just kind of like drop it, acting to show like, but I can't do that anymore. It doesn't have the pin. And put that away, and you show them a couple of these unique like looking coins that, for the sake of everybody else, wouldn't work in this day's market, but it's still pretty cool to see different coins.
I mean, like can I
I'm
do
a
a
hoarder.
history check on the stuff that she's like showing? Like, is it
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
of anything in?
That's a good idea. I want to do that too.
Damn, girl.
Is anything
Damn.
valuable?
Oh,
Of course.
Think about stealing my stuff.
I mean, I was really liking that chalice.
My stuff.
guys,
Um,
come on. Come on.
Shoot, vampire lady.
A lonely fox.
Listen here, you
like
little
take
shit.
her to her home
Hey,
and you
I
rob
think-
her.
Firstly,
I'm looking to take this chalice.
make a perception check, Trafalgar. Other than the silver chalice at the moment, you'd have to look. Make a perception check like Chorus, with probably disadvantage because you're a bit.
I'm not trying to prevent this.
Oh,
Oh,
Good. I'm not really looking.
I'm watching the
That's
exits.
7 though.
so
I know.
Trafalgar, you see the chalice, and that kind of piques your interest.
That was me. I wanted to look at the chalice.
Mm.
I was looking
Piques
at it.
my interest.
Lycoris,
Aw.
though you're a bit occupied looking toward the exit, you do see kind of in the corner of your eye the usual mannerisms of a certain someone who's scouting.
Oh.
I go to like say something and then I rethink my choice and I ignore it.
Flashbacks to murdering the lookalike.
Just-
He's never gonna tell you off again.
I'm gonna look back at the front door and ignore whatever I just saw.
I was
You-
doing a history check on the chalice in particular.
Okay. You, Lycoris Stone, feel this something, like a blood boiling sensation almost.
Oh.
And there's this sudden hypersensitivity as you are listening in, and though it's a very quick thing, there's this moment where you get a flash image in your head of what looks to be a bloody-faced young man looking very similar to Trafalgar at the end of a blade.
No, gonna stand up and move as far into the entrance that I can get without making myself at risk.
So, yeah. The chalice looks like it's possibly about a few hundred years old. There are like wear and tear by time, like scuffs here and there. Parts of the silver have been worn, but it seems like it'd be worth a pretty penny. Like, there's no like watermarks or anything, but it looks like it was part of one of the settlers of Janasta. So somewhere quite a few hundred years back at the very least. So it could be some kind of family heirloom or noble's treasure or something of the like. So you could either restore it and bring it back to them, or just bring it back to them anyway. There are these little indents that come out of it that seem as part of the chalice that look like star points. And I mean, though of course it has been dented inward a little, the value is a bit scuffed, but it is still silver. Nonetheless, at the very least, if you could have that shit smelted down and have a blacksmith who knows what they're doing create a weapon for you, silvered weapons are very highly valued, especially for monster slayers. As for you, Esatari, a couple of the coins are...
Oh no.
Some of the coins look like they're just fake coins that someone has tried to make to get over the new currency and be like, ha ha ha, I can copy this, I can make more currency whenever I want, ha ha. But then more new currency came in and that became obsolete. Others look unique. There is one black coin that has what looks to be a skull as its insignia, with these little dots that circle around it. And as you kind of look at it, and you go to pick it up, you hear a very quiet but sudden no shout in the back of your mind, and you kind of stop and you look around a bit confused, and then you hear Tari properly as she goes, don't touch that one. That one doesn't feel right.
Oh, I will immediately withdraw my hand.
Okay. Other than that, a couple of the coins will maybe have some value for collectors and the like, but yeah, otherwise it's just
I'm not
coins.
casing up the joint, just
No.
so we're clear.
No, I know you. I didn't expect it from you of all people. But yeah, as you all kind of have your look around, Ikiko then leads you through the back, through the open pathway. It's dark at first, but as you start walking along, you kind of like lick the edge of your thumb and run it across the wall, and these small flickering of candle lights erupt across the hallway. And as you start to walk along, just like kind of humming to yourself, just like, it is a very nice day. It's rare you get visitors to show off all of your stuff to, and now you get to show off the actually fucking best part of it all. As you go walking through, you guys start to smell this very gentle, like summer breezy kind of smell, and a gentle wind starts pushing through. As you make your way to the next area, I can't remember what it's called for the life of me. I want to say planetarium, but that doesn't sound right. Something terrarium. Terrarium? I don't know, whatever.
Terrarium.
Yeah, like a
That's with the
terrarium.
plant.
Yes. There's an assortment of different plants. It seems like portions of the normal ground have been properly dealt with so that it can grow plants naturally. And you see an assortment of colourful flowers and small little mushrooms and berries, and though some of them seemingly are still suffering a degree of a rot, for the most part this place is a fresh garden. You see a large tree that's kind of bowing a little bit as it can't get any further as the roof is blocking its path. But the tree itself has these wondrous little red and slightly darker green tinted leaves. There is a large entranceway to another space just to the right of that. And as you walk in, Akiko, you walk up toward the tree, kind of skipping maybe, kind of place your hand on it, and it being one of your pieces of pride and joy. The tree itself, though the colour is a little bit different, it is where one of the leaves was taken from to create the bracelet that Megan now has on her person. It is part of the components for creating it, and you kind of run your hand along the tree, just kind of stroke it a little bit kindly. And yeah, you're walking.
This is my favorite.
You guys do notice the tree has a slightly darker brown wood, but it might just be due to the fact, of course, there's not really any sunlight. It's kind of nice though that it has still managed to grow any leaves along its branches. But yeah, as you just take a look around, there are a couple of boxes dug into the wall where she's got little handmade plant pots and the with little one of them looks kind of like a Venus flytrap that every now and again when you guys walk past it kind of tries to pinch toward you. But beyond that, yeah. And leading forward toward the next room, there's about a 5-foot path until a steel door frame. The door itself has multiple little indents, kind of like if someone had jabbed a blade at least 1/4 of an inch into the door 1,000 times. And you kind of walk up to it, hop, skipping, and then you gently push the door with a fingertip. The door goes creaking with the loudest creak open, but it slowly moves open for you. Thank you.
Creek.
Very appropriate
Oh my
creak.
god, it's so real.
Realism.
Sound effects are so good, Lee.
Oh,
my
no,
god.
thank you. Definitely was me.
You do such good voices.
Wow,
Sound
how'd
of
you do
Door by Lee.
It's the Matt Mercer effect all over again.
So, as the door opens.
Carry on, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. As the door opens and she wanders in, again, it's a dark space. As you wander in, there's a large darkness as you walk in again. The door slowly creaks and closes behind you and just goes. As you kind of look around for a moment, you kind of clap your hands twice. A couple of little floating lights suddenly appear and illuminate this small space. And it is a hallway of 10 foot long at first, but the width of it is about 40-50. There are a couple of rocks here and there that are in the way, very teeny tiny ones. And again, the walls aren't exactly made for people purpose. It is pretty much like a man-made cave, where it curves in weird places and you have to kind of duck in some. And she takes you off toward the left, kind of doing a little strut. And these little flickering lights, also commonly known as will-o-wisps, but they seem inert almost. As you go wandering along, you take a little hop, a skip, a jump. You turn to the right. You move forward for a little bit. The cave opens out just a smidge so that 2 people could walk in a row, a little bit uncomfortably. And then after about 2 minutes of walking, you have a couple of paintings you've hung up for the sake of making it a little bit more lively. And you kind of be like, this is one I found here, this is one I found there. One of which is that of a puppy. The other one of which is that of what looks to be a large troll that's looming down toward this pig, and the pig's like just running away. It's kind of like a spoof kind of image, and eventually you come toward a. It's kind of partly covered. This large double door. Parts of the top half of it are covered up, but you kind of like grab at the handles and you kind of stop pushing and just like, God damn it, this saw is so difficult. Does anyone help?
I'm not very strong, but I'll
Still-
try.
I'm still stood at the entrance, so
I'll have a go.
Entrance as in to the.
as in where we came in the actual house.
Okay.
Good.
Oh, you're still there.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Where's that
Into
chorus?
my nice tree.
So eventually you push the doors open. And it's kind of a nightmare. Just like really like shove it. Just like you goddamn doors. And then you kind of stop, take a breath, kind of just have a rest, pat your chest a little bit, and then turn around again. Just go, and as you shove the doors open, fling them open, and step forward. Suddenly everything goes dark. Who's got dark vision?
No. Oh, I don't know if I do. I think this is the first character I've got that doesn't.
Same.
No, I don't have it. I think I do have a little flamey thing though. That can make light.
Okay.
Is it like dark? Does it stay dark for a few seconds? That
It does. When the doors creak open, suddenly it just goes dark and a couple of
where's
seconds
my
go by.
thingy? I had something that I could light up.
Light cantrip?
No, I don't have light.
Dancing?
I don't think I do anyway. I do have a
Is
flamey
it-
blade.
Is it the glowy orb thingies?
Yeah,
Dancing
I think so.
lights? Dancing lights?
No,
Fairy fire?
no.
No.
I thought I had like a flaming spear. There it is.
Could always create a bonfire.
Not a bonfire.
Oh, no.
You're gonna set her house on fire.
If I ram it into something, yeah. It sheds bright light in a 20-foot radius and dim light for an additional 20 feet, so you'll all be able to see, I think. Or I can just light up my green flame blade. Wait, does that say that you? If I have a blade that lights up with fire, would that affect what I can see for a little bit or
Yeah.
not? It doesn't say.
Yeah, it's still light.
Okay, well I'll do my cantrip on my green flame blade then, so I can see it in front of me a bit. I don't like not being able to see.
Okay.
I'll put it in chat so I've got it.
That would be lovely. Okay, what colour would you like it?
Ooh, you can do cool. I assumed you. At least it's green flame, but can I have it as like a purpley reddy colour, please?
Okay. So as you're all kind of sat there in a silence for a second, you're just there kind of like, oh, I got something for this, and then you draw the blade up, and the wondrous coloured flame ignites around a weapon. And as it ignites, you all kind of look around for a second.
It explodes and we die.
Yes, obviously.
I hope not.
So
Campaign end. Nice.
rocks fall. The end. You're buried to death.
It won't do that for you because you're not
Joke's on you.
So as you ignite it, and I'll say it doesn't really specify, but 15 is a generic. Also, Conrad, don't you have dark vision? Connor,
Like no?
are you muted?
Oh,
You were muted.
yeah, I was
God damn
muted
it.
for ages.
Oh no, Connor!
I've been wondering why I've been ignored.
Oh, we're sorry for inadvertently ignoring you.
No, it's it's my own fault
Oh.
because I had to shout down goodbye to my nephew and stuff leaving. So,
Oh.
and since I've been adding a few bits here and there, and been like, oh, I think they've been taking it notes down. That's fine.
So,
Yeah, I got dark vision.
knew it. So as you guys suddenly get the burst of light, you see a staircase in front of you, leading downward like 10 or so, 15 feet maybe, toward a more gravelly cave floor. The staircase looks like kind of half wooden, half kind of like steel. It looks roughly a little bit damaged through time or whatnot. But you also notice that Kiko's disappeared, and the sound of the doors behind you just close. You hear
What?
this mischievous little giggle in the background.
No.
As you're all looking forward, Connor, you see in the darkness, kind of like far at the back, a pair of eyes staring at you. They're very tiny things, and it's a little bit of a distance away, but these little beads of red just kind of staring from the darkness. What are we doing?
I was going to ask her earlier if she was going to eat us, and I feel like I should have asked it now. Oh my god.
I'll just shout. I'll raise my voice a little and say, "Who's there?"
Do we... Is it only Bree with the eyes?
Oh, for God's sake!
Oh! Oh no!
Oh, for God's sake!
Oh no! What's going on?
Nothing good.
Also,
No,
since Lycoris
no.
isn't there, she will be out of that.
Rachel!
Hello, Ollie.
Hello.
Oh,
Hello.
Rachel's gonna have to save us all!
So I've just told them that they see a pair of lovely red. Well, Connor sees a pair of lovely red eyes in the distance, in the darkness, as they step within the boundaries of your lair.
No! Lair! You better not get lair actions.
I will note as well, Akiko, my dear, because you know fully well where you are, and you are currently a lovely little fox in the darkness. I will also place you on the map right over here.
Thank you. Oh, thank
You
you.
little fuckers. You better not fuck us up.
I did nothing.
Wait, are you
This is
in
just
with
my-
us? Are you behind the doors? Did you close us in and lock the door or something?
Can't tell you.
I'm confused.
So
Did we hear the giggle from behind the door, or is it like directly behind us?
you heard it from in front of you, disappearing
of
into
us?
disappearing into the cave.
Wait, so she's gone ahead of us?
hmm
All I can say is I'm still grateful to Chloe for making me never trust any guest characters ever again.
I'm sorry, this is my fault.
I was like, I would normally be so into Akiko, but I'm like, oh no.
Something not right here.
I've been broken. I've been hurt before.
So as the
Yeah.
large double
I made
steel
him try to
doors
kill you.
close behind you for
Oh no.
my dear Morthos, what would you like to say?
Oh no.
Considering none of you can see him bar
No.
Connor, he's just gonna stare directly at Connor with this big grin on his face.
Ew, he sounds creepy already.
And for everybody else, you'll see him. Well, you won't see him, but the little orbs of light will start flinging around the room, slowly making their way around the lair, sort of giving you a little idea of general areas where it might be or what could possibly be showing you what's against the walls, what's here, what's there, as he starts fucking with you.
Wait, were these the
Before-
little willow wisps?
Yep.
Essentially, yes.
Oh, damn it.
Before these little lights manage to spin around and one comes right behind him, almost like a show light. And he looks directly at all of you, one at a time, He says, "Welcome to my home." He stands, raising his arms and gesturing to the room, this big, evil, toothy grin on his face. "Your, camping trip seems to be coming to an interesting end, doesn't it?"
We found a nice rug. It was good. Thanks.
Thank you for asking.
There's actually a very lovely,
We're
massive
having a
rug
great
here as well.
time, thanks.
Mm.
Bruin sort of raises his hand as entirely like, wait a second, just out of nowhere you just say about the rug and Bruin's just like, oh, for God's sake.
Yes, I've seen a lot of you have been looking at a lot of my things. Especially you, and his little sort of decrepit hand where from the second knuckle up has just turned to bone will point directly at Trafalgar.
Oh. I'm really glad I didn't steal that cup like I was going to.
Bruin turns his attention to Trafalgar and just says,
Oh, actually, hold on. Aaron, are you here? Because you're on mute, and you
Oh
said
yeah, he's put me right
BRB.
back.
Okay.
Yeah, the man's put
He
BRB.
doesn't know.
Yeah.
He doesn't
He
know.
doesn't know. He doesn't know.
You don't know shit.
Nobody's gonna know.
Wait, was he here when you
I don't
announced
know.
yourself?
Fuck.
Oh my god.
He's missed. He'll be like, "Why are we all dead? What's happened?"
Why is Ollie here? Like,
I literally went onto 5e tools and I rolled a d4 to see if I was going to steal the Kafana.
Oh my
And it
God.
rolled as I was not going to steal it, so I was like, okay, that's fine.
You're
And now
dead.
I'm really glad. Oh my god.
This is gonna be fun.
Oh no. Please be nice to us.
Hmm.
I'll share my rug.
No.
You can use it for all your nice things.
No, it's my rug.
That wasn't your rug.
It is now.
Oh no, don't steal my rug. You'll have to take it from my cold dead hands, bitch.
Well, that's the idea.
That's the plan.
I know. It's a challenge.
I love
Actually, the plan is to have your cold dead hands give it to me.
I love how this.
Ew.
I love how, obviously, jokingly, this now sounds like you're only summoning them here for all this effort and spellcasting to take her rug.
Yeah.
It's a really nice
As you can see,
rug.
I need the next rug for the for the set. I've got 2 out of 3. I need the third one. I need to complete the set.
Well,
I was
you
gonna say
need
you
to be
could-
a random collector, so it does fit.
And like you can
Exactly.
cover up
I'm a hoarder.
this ugly old thing here, like with the rug, it'll look nicer. Feng shui and all that, yeah? It'll be great.
Right.
You let us go, I'll give you the rug. Oh, that's a really hard thing
that's
for me
really
to say.
Right.
real, to be honest.
Try opening the door. Let's see how that goes first.
Well, I have ways of getting through the door. Maybe.
Alright,
Oh,
no one else
Rachel's
does.
in a good place right now.
Yeah, so
Look at
hi
my
guys.
chorus. She'll open it. Can I message like chorus actually? We're not in like initiative or anything, are we?
Not yet.
No, go nuts. I'm chilling. I'm
While
comfortable
he's-
up here.
While he's talking, can I message like chorus and be like, where the fuck did you go?
Oh, you mean mid-speech you turn around and point in the opposite direction?
Yeah, I'm whispering it. Where the fuck are you?
She's just pointing back to where we came, like, come on, guys. It's not that suspicious. It's like, actually, I want to go back this way.
I can do a tiny point like inside my. I don't know. I don't have a cape. I could like I'm crossing my arms, but I'm pointing behind me like with my finger. You
What
can't
do
see what I'm doing.
you say to Lycoris?
Where the fuck are you?
So,
I whisper it.
definitely Lycoris. Ollie, what do you say in return?
What?
Later, bits.
Why is he saying it?
Actually, I wasn't even gonna say anything as like chorus. I was just gonna have one of us respond back to you saying, That's very rude to turn your back on me.
I didn't. I pointed behind me while I was facing forwards. That's not rude. That's fine.
Well, did your mother never tell you not to point?
My mother's a bitch, so no.
Okay.
Honestly, the youth these days.
So Trafalgar, a quick
You-
update, because I'm pretty sure you missed
I don't
the important bit, because I'm stupid and didn't realise. But, hi, Ollie's a villain.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm here to kill
Right.
you. How you doing? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
You
Oh,
took
Who's
my
shit.
gonna
chalice.
steal my rug?
You took my chalice. I pointed my bony
Did we have
finger
to
at you and
I
take
called
took
you
your
out.
chalice. I did not take your
No, he
chalice.
didn't.
I never said the words. I was
He
taking your
did.
Well,
chalice.
I point my bony finger at you and say, you better not have took my chalice.
And then it appears in my hand magically.
Oh, look at that.
Lee, I want to cast disintegration ray. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Are there any? Oh yeah, you wanted to say something to Trafalgar anyway.
Oh yeah, well it was just basically for your context, he will have asked you how your camper trip went, and then he would have pointed directly at you after looking at everybody, and said, "You especially seem to have taken an interest in my belongings."
In your belongings? Which
Yes.
belongings?
Well, everything you and your friends decided to pick up while you waited outside.
Maybe you should have looked at that thing that gave you the heebie-jeebies again.
Yeah, like.
You're like, oh yeah, that's weird. I'm gonna leave it alone.
Yeah,
Never leave it alone. Check it.
I thought it's just some little fox girl picking up shit that she doesn't know what it does.
You said you didn't trust anything anymore.
No, but
I-
Esatari does.
Oh,
I don't.
I suppose.
I'm gonna pull Esatari over, pull the chest of gems out, and throw them on in front of me and go, these things?
Don't have the gems. Oh my god. Now he's
Funnily
gonna have
enough,
the rug and the gems. This is a terrible day.
Well,
funnily enough, those aren't what you
funnily
thought,
enough, yeah.
but
Funnily enough, you're just gonna see a bunch of spectral skeleton hands just collect all of your gems and start piling them up next to Morthos.
What the
As
fuck
he
are
just looks
those?
at you and says, "Well, those aren't what I expected, but this is a lovely tribute.
Glare
I
at
might just
Trafalgar.
let you live."
Oh,
Might.
you fucker.
Get more gems.
For what fucking gems?
Cheers for your loot, boy.
It
You
sounds
Those
like
are
we
my
gems.
Bro, I was just bothered about a dented chalice, but cheers.
Who didn't even fucking take? Give him all the gems.
It sounds like we
I'm
could
not
pay
giving
our
you the
way
rug
out of
now.
this, so,
Have I inspired this much fear that they'll give me everything?
Not the rug, not now. Not anymore. You can't be rude.
I'll tell you
Anything
what,
but the
I'll
rug.
give you the gems for the rug.
It's a really nice rug.
I'm pretty sure that's all I picked up, and some silly little handle of some weapon, maybe. Maybe that's what you're after. And then I'll pull the little handle thing out,
I mean, you
and I want to see how he reacts to this.
you look at it. It has the symbol of what looks to be a six-armed man, but it's
Ooh.
the head and torso and the arms, and that's it on the handle. Beyond that, you can see a very tiny gem where the blade would be slotted, but it doesn't, in your eye, it doesn't have any value, or at least while not connected to whatever its original source is anyway.
Why on earth would I want your trinkets? It's a blade without a blade. It's like having a quill without ink. It's completely useless.
Well, that's all I picked up, so maybe you've got the wrong person.
Well, we'll see. I'll make
hold
sure
the
you
book
didn't
back.
take anything when you're lying there dead.
Are we locked in? Are we trapped?
Do you try to open the door?
Behind us, stopping me. Sorry, I missed how. Here. I was just
You do.
assuming this was the.
It's,
You
feel like
said
I'm playing someone else?
intruding.
Yeah, a little bit.
my gist of it is to be answered with this. Doors were opened. You were led in by Kiko. It was very dark. As Anessa lit a green flame blade to illuminate the area for a moment, She wasn't there anymore, Akiko, and you had the doors closed behind you. And now here you are.
I let this bitch into my tiny hut.
I know.
That's an interesting sentence you got there.
It was quite tiny.
Yeah, it was.
You're not deaf incarnate yourself, are you?
No, I want to try and leave.
You just die for everyone else.
Hello.
Okay.
Shalom.
Hello.
Aaron?
Can I be? Am I heard? Hello.
No,
Let
Oh,
it
hello.
go.
You are heard.
Yeah.
Hello.
Aaron isn't.
Yeah, I literally asked in character, is the guy in front of us deaf incarnate himself?
Oh, did you ask that to me?
Yeah.
Death incarnate. I like that one. I've been called many names. Taker of skulls, destroyer of lands, plague of the west, but never death incarnate. I might use that one.
I'd be careful about using that one so freely, because you may have death itself show up at your doorstep.
Perfect. What do you think I've been trying to do all these years? I invite death. I want death. I cherish it.
Well, taking someone else's title and their freedom isn't exactly the right way to go about it, mate.
It is for me. Why else would you impress death by giving it more? You offer more death to the gods of death and then they reward you. That's how it works. You empower yourself through them.
Of course, but proclaiming to be death itself is one way to piss them off.
We'll see.
Yeah, cool, Brewin. You go.
Rather cocky of you, if I do say so myself.
Well, what can I say? Being alive for a few thousand years gives you a bit of an ego.
I can somewhat vouch on that one, but I've got a sense of morality, mate, and by the sounds of it, you need to take a breath of fresh air every so often, because you seem to be having it back to front, mate.
Please,
Mm.
can I analyze him, please?
Mm. Oh yeah. Actually, you can. Wait. Put the thing in chat for me, quick. Cool. What would you like to know?
I would like to see if they have any abilities I don't have, and any. Oh my god, it's so difficult to choose. I want to get to 5th level so I can
5th.
scheme. Yeah, oh wait.
Level spells, you mean?
No,
Level-
it's
we're-
just 5th level.
You
We're
are
level
5th level.
So I am 5th level. I get 3. Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
I'm level 6, but I took a different level, so
Mhm.
I'm still level 5 in my wizard thing.
You're still at
Mage.
least 5th, regardless.
Yeah, so I get 3. Okay, so an ability that I don't have.
You get 2.
And can I?
Oh, 3,
can I
yeah.
have?
Oh, I'm stupid.
Yeah. Current HP,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll do vulnerability, resistance, or immunity. I've got to pick one of those, haven't I? We'll go for any no. Yeah, any immunities. We'll do immunities for now.
So current HP. Also, I'm just going to put some exclaimer here. Because this is another person, I'm not telling you his exact HP.
That's
Because
fine.
if it was an NPC, sure, I don't really give a fuck. But the technical terming, the wording of analyze is if they're equal or superior or inferior in the characteristic. He is far superior to you in the characteristic.
Okay.
a immunity. Well, let's say physical was off the menu. As for an ability, Ollie, your abilities to the left. Tell her one of them of your choice.
What underneath my thing?
Starting from LR 3 a day.
Yeah. What kind?
Any
I'm
of them
probably
that
gonna just...
any of them that you do tell her, you have to say the whole thing.
Okay. I have turn resistance, so I have advantage on saves against any effect that turns undead.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I should probably go to. Yeah.
Yep.
So turn resistance. So analyze. What did I find out? Analyze. So far superior. In HP. Immune to physical damage. Was that right?
Mm-hmm.
Or is that resistant?
It's immune.
To physical. Damn.
It's a good thing I'm not going to do physical damage.
Turn resistance. Advantage.
Oh, actually, sorry, I should be specific. Non-magical physical.
To non-magical physical. There we go. I just put it in each chest, so I've got it.
Okay. With that.
So we fucked.
With that, that will be session because some of you do need to go to bed.
Yeah. Got to teach tomorrow.
As well, everybody roll for initiative, just for the sake of when it inevitably comes around.
Oh,
It's
no.
not.
Do I need to roll?
Are you implying that we're not getting out of this by talking?
I mean, you could, but for the sake of
Potentially.
inevitable failure.
14! That's not bad for me.
I have complete say over this, so potentially you'll be okay.
Oh, you do. Oh,
I rolled mine
no.
I've given him creative freedom.
Oh no, he's gonna kill us all.
Oh, mine rolled to GM, but yeah, he
Yeah.
knows mine.
Mhm.
Mine's there. Ooh.
I think all of our shit just rolls to GM automatically.
No, I changed mine to roll to. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
mine is.
sorry, guys.
I'm a bounce, guys.
I can't believe
Okay.
you've done this to us.
Oh, dear.
One question.
I
Bye,
got-
friend.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Hi, Lou.
No,
I
I'm
have a
still here.
question too.
My question is, do both Ollie and Sophie have any other collective information about us at all?
Probably.
Okay.
Oh no.
You okay, guys?
Is he humanoid? That's my question.
That you'll have to find out.
Yes.
Ah,
I was gonna
Oh,
say,
you have that initiative.
I just
I was gonna
wondered
say,
from what I can see.
it can wait till next time, but I do want an answer to my poor history roll if I know any of his aliases.
Oh, bro, I'm gonna be honest. I thought of them on the spot, so probably not.
But Leo'll add it in if he
Oh,
likes it.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like, are you famous or not? Is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Ah.
Or
Yeah,
do you
am I
just
famous?
think? Do you just think you are?
Where you
think
told her
you're
the
all that,
stories
but
when she was
he
a
just
child.
sits
Hey,
my
bro, a
case.
few thousand years just gives you an ego. What can I say?
Yeah.
You're like, everybody's heard of me, and I'm just there like racking my brains, like,
I don't know who you are.
Who is this motherfucker? Everybody in my cave's heard of me. Oh, God.
Motherfucker Jones.
Everybody in my
Have you
lair
met
knows.
Skeleton Bill? He's over there. He likes me. Don't you, Skeleton Bill? That means yes in Skeleton Bill.
Oh, you better be paying some rent, you know? This is a big room you're
Well,
renting.
bro, what are you on about paying the rent? They just gave me all their gems.
well,
I'm rich, yes.
They just paid rent
I'm-
for the next 3 years.
I'm just glad I'm mistrusting enough as a person. I didn't give my heart to the pretty fox girl. No, a few games ago, that would have been me. I'd be like, oh yes, I love her. And now I'm
Yeah,
just
that
so-
would have been me too.
Here, have all of my money and
meet
my
someone-
love.
I meet someone new and I'm like, oh, they're bad.
I would have been like, oh, pretty lady, and again, oh my god, I love all the pretty ladies, and I would have tried to add her to my very small harem compared to yours, which consists of you
You ain't
and
got
like
nothing on my
Horace's
harem.
friend.
Oh,
Yeah, now the pretty lady led you to a lich,
Hey.
basically.
You can
I
have
feel like
the
I
lich
thought
for
you were
your
onto me,
harem.
like.
Oh my god.
I have my own. You're probably gonna see it next session if this conversation carries on as it does.
Was it the skeleton hands?
At the start.
The
would
starter.
you?
Wait till you find the main course.
Oh no! I'm so scared. I'm so scared. Okay. Okay, I need to go now.
I need
Yes.
to go as well.
Good night,
Okay.
everybody.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
My hello. I don't have too long, by the way.
Do we kill them or not?
What's my butt? Sorry.
The question is, do we attack them or not?
That is entirely up to you. If they offer you something that your character would be like, you know what, fair.
I don't know what he'd want though. This is the problem.
Hey, you got time to think it up.
Innit? He's literally just built around collecting bodies and expanding his army.
Well, I mean, if
I
it,
thought you were gonna use them to maybe get
Yeah.
more.
Maybe, but I was like a shot in the dark. I didn't know what the fuck I'm gonna use them
I
to
mean,
do.
obviously my character just like wants the souls and stuff. So whether they can be used to get them or they are them, then just not first. Tasty, tasty souls.
Yeah, Lee, you put me on the spot there. Oh, pick one of the three. It's like, do I tell them my DCs and spell attacks? Or my number one secret of my skeletons don't die? Or turn resistance? I'm gonna go turn resistance.
well, that's the fun of her. She's literally a blue mage. So if she kills you, she's gonna steal something from you.
Oh,
Lee, well, to be fair, my amulet.
that's
It's
cool.
an amulet,
Well,
innit?
yeah, it's an amulet. She can't take
So
that.
it's not a, she can't take that.
Well,
could
she
probably
can, but she can't absorb it.
She can't. Well, the only one she could probably absorb is my turn resistance, because
Mhm.
rejuvenation is a phylactery. So
Yep.
yeah, I've just told her the one she can have.
Yep.
Lee, also, they do not have a lot of HP, my brother.
No.
Like,
You-
I'm almost
you,
certain I can one-shot quite a few of them.
You see, the thing is, I have full awareness of that. You have not met their frontline.
We haven't met their
Oh.
front line.
Nope.
But their front line isn't there, right?
Uh,
That's Rachel. I'm
yeah.
guessing.
Like Horus, she is currently sat at the entrance, and she.
She doesn't have as much health though, and she's the only front line.
Mm,
And if we fight, there's going to be a lot of shit going their way.
yeah. Well, it gives you. It gives you full time to be that mad villain you always wanted to be. Throw a bunch of minions at them, laugh wildly across your turns, and then if they break them, just be like, okay, this is boring. Bang, 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 bang.
Basically. Bro, I might just use Finger of Death. I'm pretty sure I could, like, one-shot one of them. I'm almost certain I could one-shot one of them.
Oh, what's the finger of death?
Do you remember
Finger-
they have a wizard as well?
Oh yeah, but I can counterspell. I counterspell. And I think she's the only wizard.
Yep.
To my knowledge, anyway. Wizard Finger of Death Sove is basically you shoot something and it has to pass a Constitution saving throw. If it fails, it takes 78 plus 30 necrotic damage, or half as much on a successful one. If the humanoid is killed by the spell, it rises at the start of your next turn as a zombie permanently under your control.
That's evil.
Mhm. Well, yeah.
Lee, what have you
I'm
done?
a lich, so... What do you mean it's evil? I'm a fucking lich.
They historically have, through this campaign or other campaigns, had a long history with dealing with very tough opponents I've thrown their way, and or have wormed their way out of it somehow. Oh, as well, quick one before I forget. You have an item called Koiven Atar. It is one of very few items I have. It's one of very few items I have in the world known as a fracture. Pieces of
thank you.
equipment or artifacts or weapons that were created on the birth of this new existence.
Oh, I had one snicker left. So
Oh, man, so I'm actually in World Law then.
Hmm.
Somehow. Okay.
You are equivalent with the amount of time you've lived. You're equivalent to an essence of the world itself, really. Like Koi Venatar, it's up to you if you wanted to have that since you've been undead, or if you just at some point collected it and
swarming.
it became part of you. Oh yeah, fractures can't ever leave your person unless you die or give it up.
Oh. Cool. Yeah, I'll keep it then. I'll say, like, I was alive when it was made,
Yeah.
and then took it. Some shit like that.
Um,
Bro, are they going to be sad if we kill them? Out of curiosity. Because me
Yeah,
and Soph have been,
yeah, of
like,
course they
deliberating
will.
over this.
Of course they will.
That's me.
Oh,
'cause,
what?
like, I'll
Me
be
and Soph
sad in
have
my
been, like,
character,
deliberating over this. Shall I just, like, stomp them?
Hey,
Yeah,
look.
a few of the kids said they liked my dress. I'm like, it's a dress. Sorry, I'm talking to
No, that's fine. It gives them something to fight against. Like, at the end of the day, death is a natural process in D&D. If they can't hack it, that's expected. And I have full intention of giving them ways to get back what they lose.
That's fair then.
uh,
That's fair. I won't feel as bad killing them then.
No. Like,
hello.
I've killed multiple NPCs that they love so much before and just been like, So many horses have died to my hands. So many.
Oh, I might just kill them then. I might just kill
Bloody
them.
hell. Just one.
All I say is...
Because I can't think of anything he'd want from them.
Hmm.
I'm like 1,000-year-old lich.
I mean, you want, like, an army, right? Like,
Yeah, but what are they? How are they going to give me?
you want a steady supply.
To be fair,
I don't know.
souls themselves, depending on how they grow and what they're involved with environmentally, can become potent in many, many, many different ways. Because them, for example, like you would know for a fact they're strong. Well, so strong in comparison to literally every other person on the planet. Because at the very least, when you see like Chorus, you would know that she also has a fracture.
Was that the blade?
Mhm.
Okay.
From left to right on the screen, anyway. Looking at them, Anessa is a wizard. She's pretty decent, got a bit of power.
Left to right.
Yeah, left to right at the bottom.
Okay.
Brewin is some degree of radiant, which for your
Holy.
yeah, possibly yes, and
He worships a
that's
false god there.
that's always the. Trafalgar is their only rogue who is currently neutered.
He's neutered.
His subclass is technically turned off.
Oh.
Okay. Has he
stuff
lived a
happened.
long time by
No.
any chance?
No.
Then what the
He's-
fuck's this geezer talking to me about the god of death and you get an ego after living a while? What the fuck?
Oh no, that was Brewin.
Oh, that was Brewen.
Yeah.
Okay. Has he been alive a long time?
Yes, sort of.
Okay.
And then Esatari, she's really smart and spells and things, and she's lovely. Not sure if I'm convincing you to not kill them or kill them. It's really tough to tell.
Innit?
It's sad because she was the one who took the bracelet.
Yep.
Start next session. Restrained. Is it 20-foot radius as well, so?
Yep.
It is, yeah.
That's all of them.
They'd all have to make the
That's,
save, yeah.
that's all of them.
Yeah. What I was gonna ask, with my golden fox form, is that the golden fox spirit like tap, or
Is it like a druid form?
is that yeah?
Yeah, no, it can be. You can do either or
like
with that, but to be honest, hold on, what? I had a thing for it. Well, anyway, if you have any other druid forms, let me know and I'll tap them on the side. Otherwise, yeah, you can use your stacks to get that form of shit. What's the thing called? The wild
I was
shape.
thinking like, what sort of like HP and stuff would I get if my stats would change with it? That's all. Maybe I'm just confusing this. I'm not seeing.
Hold on, let me just double check. Have I changed something, or is it malfunctioned as per usual?
Yeah, because I can transform into my golden form twice with wild shape, but I'm not too sure which one is my golden form. Is it the separate golden fox spirit?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
Is that what it is? So it'd be, I'd change and I'd have that AC of 16, HP of 35.
Yeah, think of it kind of like. Have you played a druid before?
I currently did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I love druids. They're one of my favorites, if not my favorite. So yeah, I was just trying to figure out. So I'd have the slam attack.
Yep. It
would I have all the other actions? Because they're under the...
everything you've got in Akiko form that would still apply in Golden Fox Spirit form I've already moved over. So you would literally have everything that's in Golden Fox Spirit. Anything that's not written there is intentional, yes.
That's a bit cheeky, that.
Bro, I'm almost certain, by the way, I can barely ever miss a couple of these people with attack spells.
I like it.
I have a +11 to hit.
Yep, and you have the capacity to expend charges to hit multiple with single target spells.
Yeah, and I'm almost certain I can, like... the wizard's gonna have, like, 13 AC.
Did you say, like, one of them may be willing to make a pact, then?
Well, the one my money was on is off. It looks like it's off the cards. My money was on the geezer that's telling me, "Oh, you live a long time, you get a bit of an ego," and it's something about that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
that's the one my money was on.
There is a small chance of it with Brewin, but I would probably say it leans more on the side of doubt because he has stuff.
It's stiff.
He has stuff.
I'm gonna try recruiting like Horus, bro. That would be funny.
I mean, that could maybe work. I'm not saying it will, but timing.
We'll have to see. I might just kill them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of want to fight. I've been big enough a fight in my brain for like this whole time we were mentioned it, so I kind of want to have a fight. I'm not gonna lie.
I wanted to like toy with them, like.
Yeah, in a fight.
Yeah.
Like I'll let my skeleton start fucking them up, and I'll sit there and laugh.
Sits there, eats popcorn, like.
Yeah, innit? I'll sit there and laugh, and my action will just be held that if one of them gets closer to me, I'll just shoot them with Ray of Frost. That'd be my action for the first few turns.
Just ping.
I'd just be fucking with them.
Can we know what the chalice was about? I'm just curious.
It was just a cup that he made up.
Just a cup.
Just a cup.
Oh,
I just thought this would be funny to use.
There's so much made out of it.
Yeah, because I thought this would be funny to use.
I thought I missed
it. No, you didn't miss shit. I was sat there listening to the stream, like listening to what people were saying. I'm like, I could use this against them. That's funny. I'll use that. I'll use that. Like, this is good. Yeah, that's
I do love that idea. Just like it was so close to like reality with the stream being on as well and you being the lich and
me and my crystal ball.
Yeah, just like, I see. So they tried to touch my fucking chalice.
And two of my skeletons just walk up with a TV and just hold it there in front of me as I'm sat there, with the whole like finger tap on the armchair, like.
It's like, God, these fuckers.
Is that my grandfather's fucking chalice? I'll kill that little shit.
I thought they weren't going to follow me into the cave.
I mean,
when
same.
Yeah, they started questioning me and insight check.
I was pissing myself.
Like,
he didn't ask the right question. So
bro, I was loving it.
I was loving
cast
it too.
This retreat. Yes, use your spells. Yes,
use
them.
Spells.
Use your spells. Yes.
It'll
be the worst mistake you ever make.
Because you are an entity that you are, and I have said, I think to you two before anyway. In regards to making pacts and all that, like warlock pacts, you have full capacity to do that without degrading yourself, and you can set the terms of said pact however way you want. We will go over that more on the time if such an event occurs, though. But I'm pretty sure that the only chance of you getting pacts out of them, not counting a specific individual or otherwise, would be is if there was negotiations. So take that however way you want. But again, you do have creative liberties here. If you come up with an event or place that is way too outside of the realms of feasibility, which, let's be honest, is very difficult, then I'll let you know beforehand if it's whatever. But otherwise, yeah, just say and do whatever you want. Worst case, I'd just be like, yeah, no, he was lying. Easy.
This is all bullshit.
It was all a ruse. But yeah,
It's a liar.
you two can do whatever you want, really.
Goody goody.
My
I'm trying to come up
wondrous,
with ways not to kill them,
my wondrous monsters.
and it's very hard.
Well, if anything, you've got another week. Come up with a reason why you're collecting bodies. Like maybe you want to take over the entirety of the Yornima for yourself because it's currently under the control of a woman who I keep forgetting her name for some fucking reason. She's one of my villains. I'm stupid, but she's taken over the throne that houses Demise, and I mean you could always be recruiting bodies to take that place down and take it over yourself.
But then how would I make a pact with them? They bring me more bodies, or they just join my army as living champions?
Either or, really, yeah. And you could always set a pact with them, either giving them power or not, it's your choice, but have it so that if they don't do it in a certain amount of time, the pact is voided and they lose something in return.
Their lives.
Or portions of their soul over time, until they come back and prove themselves or something like that.
But then it begs the question. Come on, brain. It begs the question then, what would be a reasonable amount of time? A couple of years? Because considering I'm a lich, a few years is fucking nothing to me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Feasibly.
Like, it just means I'd have a couple of years more recruiting, like, soldiers. A couple of years is nothing to my character.
Or worst case, or like best-ish case, you could always place a pseudo curse on them that whenever they participate in the kill of something, that soul is marked by you.
Forfeit.
Yeah. So then you get passive souls, and they get to live.
I don't want the souls, innit?
I want.
Soph wants the souls.
Well, that too. To be fair, you don't really need that much to fill skeleton. All you need, well, I mean, if we're being vaguely specific, liches live off of souls, and I mean, they're like an energy to you. You can always use a small amount of it to power yourself up enough to put energy into a skeletal body or a zombie body, or summon some ghasts and such.
True.
Honestly, we can easily make you a reoccurring villain.
It sounds like I'm very quickly just becoming a reoccurring villain.
You get to finally live that lich life you wanted.
In it. It's not even a joke, I did want to live a lich life too.
What a lich.
What a lich.
I'm gonna be root for. We're gonna be root for.
Though to be fair, I suppose then mildly begs the question, what do you think of it, Sophie? Because it would be passive souls over time if that last thought was to happen. But that means that you'd have to wait longer and the forest might die. Or, well, be less abundant.
No. No, not my forest. Well, I'd want a way to, like, obviously get more people in, and a way to like lure them in. Hmm. Not too sure. Think about that. What?
No, just the situation's funny. We've joined a
How
campaign
do
as
I
bad
get more
guys.
souls? How do I get them? What?
We could
So
very
all these
easily give
things-
them a packed weapon.
Mm.
Or we
Oh,
could
yeah.
brand them.
Yeah.
To
you
be fair,
thought about that.
again, like, I mean, it's entirely up to him. Trafalgar, again, obviously, at the moment, he's the only one that doesn't technically have much anymore. So, and given that he was already unintentionally pacted with someone and now he's out of that pact, he could, but he's got a very a 50-50 relationship when it comes to things that are obviously bad. Like, he'll happily like do the worst drugs in the world that will destroy him and his family's lives, but if it comes to evil magical creatures that are clearly a bit too evil, he has a fair enough understanding and be like, yeah, no, I'm good.
What?
Why?
I'm not that evil.
I am.
I just want to feed the forest.
Your very soul.
My babies. My plants.
Yeah.
I
But
like the idea of the packed weapon.
yeah,
I mean, a packed weapon work. You could brand them, so you give them a boon, which whenever they kill someone, you get their soul.
oh yes,
There's a bunch of shit we could do.
oh yes. Right, I'm going to bed.
I'm just gonna think of it.
Send me any ideas the pair of you can agree on that sound good for you. If there's anything you want added or any like thing you want me to have a look up or otherwise, let me know.
Okie dokie.
Will do, monsieur. Will do.
Yeah. I will speak to you both soon.
Right, see you in a bit, mate.
Exciting.
Bye.